All right, guys, welcome in. Hey, sorry, I had my wrong microphone on during the interlude sound, and so you guys may have heard me hacking around trying to clear my throat. I don't think I'm getting sick. I think it's just that time of year when the dry air sets in, finally sets into Middle Tennessee, and it just dries absolutely everything out. And so I've been trying to save my voice all day. I was just talking to a fellow podcaster, Jason Goodman, on the phone just a little bit ago. I had a really, really good conversation with him, and we're going to try to plan to do something together, not too terribly distant into the future. And he probably thinks I'm a psychopath because I was talking like this the whole time. I was like, "Hey, Jason, how you doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know, he's peppy. He's got pep in his step." And I was talking like this. I was trying to save my voice for you guys. You're going to hear that crack tonight. I've been doing it all day, and so I will do my best to fight through it. I warned you guys a week or so ago I lose my voice about once a year, and I hope this is not it coming because it does last about a week, and I sound ridiculous. I will still be here. I will still be here because I have so many shows lined up for this week that I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I just don't. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to cover probably three really fun stories tonight. I hope I have enough time to get to the third story because the third story is the kind of reason I'm here. For those that are on the member video, the member side of YouTube, we had a member chat Friday afternoon for about an hour in the middle of the day, like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. I don't remember what time it was exactly. Because, ladies and gentlemen, my book came, or Joe's book came. Joe's book came. It's here. It's thick too. And I've been reading it. I've been taking notes. I've been highlighting sections. Joe, you've met your match. You've met your match. The high IQ outfit, Joe. So, yeah, we've got a lot to cover tonight. A whole lot to cover tonight. The opening statement's fun. This is one of the more fun opening statements I've put together in a while. I've had it kind of kicking around in my head. I just haven't known the right time to do it. And last night triggered me. I got very triggered last night. Well, I wasn't that triggered, but I had a good time last night with the family. And I had to sit down today and sort of recount it. So let me get into the opening statement. We've got a lot of news to get to tonight. Some breaking news. We will be uncovering things today. This is one of those shows. If you've been following the Charlie Kirk investigation, you want to text people and tell them to tune in. The first show we're going to cover. Well, actually, hold on. Let me make sure that's right. Let me make sure it's the first story. Let me get down to the lineup here. Yes, the first story we're going to cover tonight is breaking news. It has not been covered anywhere on any YouTube channel relative to the Charlie Kirk investigation, period, end of story. So if you know somebody who's following this investigation closely, you need to tell them they've got about 15 minutes because it's going to take me, when I did my read through on the opening statement today, it was 13 minutes and 27 seconds. I imagine I'll go a little quicker because the adrenaline starts kicking in when I see the red light. And that means I read a little quicker than I do normally. Oh, I almost forgot. I got a new teleprompter program. I'm not going to use it tonight because I'm still practicing with it. But it's awesome. It is awesome. So you won't see my eyes doing this the whole time in openings in the future and looking off to the side and looking down at the screen. You're not going to see all that in the future. One day I'm going to perfect the ability to read a teleprompter. I'm going to look like a news reporter. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. All right, let me see. I never clicked back over. Oh yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Like button, subscribe button, share. You're going to like this news tonight. You are going to love the news we're sharing tonight. Again, this is one of those where you just want to reach out to people and say, "Hey, there's some big news coming." Oh, brand new hoodie. Brand new hoodie. I call this Vatican City Ceiling Blue. If you've been to the Sistine Chapel and you look up and you see all that beautiful blue, this is Vatican City Ceiling Blue. And this is the cloud. This is the cloud. This is not the other blue I have. I have another similar blue, but that's not it. That has an ink logo. The color of that logo is ink. This is a cloud logo. This is Vatican City Ceiling Blue cloud logo. Okay, I'm going to get into this opening statement, and then we are going to break some monster news on the Charlie Kirk investigation. You are not you might have been granted an entire chair. You will not need it. You will not need it. You will only need the forward third or so You will be on the edge of your seat when we're covering that news. But first, the opening statement. In February of 1992, incumbent Republican President George Bush was visiting. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me get that. All right, I gotta get this pulled up so I can show you the picture when the time comes. Scratch that start. This is what you guys pay for. This is what you pay the big bucks for. You tune in for free so you can see me screwing around on the screen here. That's why you guys do this, right? Okay. Oh, man. Here, I'll do it on this screen. There we go. All right. Dang it. Hold on. It's you know what I'll do? I'm just going to show you the I don't want to give away the rest of it, though. Man, I wish I was a professional broadcaster sometimes. It would be so wonderful. I wish you guys deserve so much better than this, me flailing around trying to show you a picture of George H.W. Bush. Actually, you know what? You're not going to see the picture of George H.W. Bush. I'll show it later. Just imagine later you see a picture of George H.W. Bush. All right, back to the opening statement. That will not be part of the program. All right, ready? This is a professional operation, ladies and gentlemen. February of 1992, incumbent Republican President George H.W. Bush was visiting a grocers convention in Florida. The visit was part of his hybrid duties of being both a president and a presidential candidate. Such dual-purpose appearances are not unusual in presidential politics. In fact, most of the final year of a first-term president often occupies this dual-purpose space of being both president and also running for president. At one point during his visit, executives from the completely appropriately named company, National Cash Register, demonstrated what at the time was cutting-edge technology that had been making its way into supermarkets around the country. We take the device for granted today, but it had, at the time, were advanced features, including a mechanism to automatically scan barcodes and a scale to weigh the produce. President Bush was mostly polite as he listened to their pitch. He remarked at one point, the machine's features seemed amazing. The New York Times took a cheap shot at sitting President George H.W. Bush with a headline that read, Bush encounters supermarket, amazed. The rest of the media ran with the narrative and painted President Bush as an elitist who couldn't possibly understand the plight of everyday Americans. The appearance of being out of touch with the very real problems Americans were facing during and perhaps as a result of the Bush presidency was devastating. The economy was beginning to sputter. Conservative Pat Buchanan was challenging Bush in the primary, forcing Bush further to the right than he wanted to be for the upcoming general election. Ross Perot and Bill Clinton were licking their chops at the possibility of facing a wounded incumbent in November. And no matter what President Bush tried, he could not shake from the public consciousness the image of him on the front page of the New York Times looking amazed at what most Americans saw as an ordinary cash register. President Bush might have been unfairly tarnished with this particular story involving his amazement at cash register technology, but many Americans were primed to believe the story because Bush was, as most presidents are, fantastically wealthy and generationally well-connected. President George H.W. Bush had been born into the established blue blood Bush family. He attended an elite boarding school. He went to Yale. He then moved to Texas, where he used his family's money and resources to found an oil company. He was elected to Congress in a district he'd only lived in a few years. He was appointed by President Nixon as ambassador to the United Nations. He became chairman of the Republican Party and then was appointed by President Ford as the special liaison to China. Ford later appointed him to be director of the CIA. It was on this resume that political insiders forced George Bush on Ronald Reagan when Reagan needed to announce a VP candidate in his 1980 White House run. George H. Bush nearly became president in 1981 instead of having to wait until 1989. On March 30th, 1981, John Hinckley Jr. allegedly shot President Ronald Reagan after a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel. The official story is that Hinckley struck Reagan with a round from a revolver that ricocheted off the side of the presidential limousine and struck Reagan under his left arm, breaking a rib, puncturing a lung, and causing nearly catastrophic internal bleeding. As has become custom in high-profile neutralizations and neutralization attempts, that was one magic bullet. The alleged would-be assassin, John Hinckley Jr., hailed from his own politically connected family, the Hinckley family. His father, George Warnock Hinckley Sr., was the founder, chairman, and CEO of Vanderbilt Energy Corporation. Vanderbilt Energy had by 1980 become mired in legal problems and was facing increased scrutiny from the Department of Energy for alleged overcharges on crude oil sales from 1976 to 1980. By the time the 1980 presidential election rolled around, Vanderbilt Energy was facing the very real prospect of crippling civil and criminal fines and other legal consequences related to its alleged illegal activity. It was in this context that the Hinckley family became ardent and huge supporters of George H.W. Bush's 1980 presidential campaign. At the time, George Bush faced Ronald Reagan in the primary and was his only serious competition for the entire duration of the primary. Indeed, the relationship between the Bushes and the Hinkleys was more than just a candidate and his supporters. Both families, being Texas oil families, they had a lot in common. They crossed paths quite frequently. In fact, one of the strangest facts in all of American political lore is that the brother of the would-be Ronald Reagan assassin was supposed to have dinner with Vice President Bush's son, Neil Bush, on the night of the attempted assassination. Let me clarify, because the facts need to be clarified so as not to be misunderstood. Just before 2:30 p.m., March 30th, 1980, John Hinckley Jr. allegedly tried to neutralize President Ronald Reagan. Had the neutralization been successful, George H.W. Bush would have been president of the United States before the end of that afternoon. On that very same evening, March 30th, 1981, I meant to say 81 earlier. It says 80 on my script, but I was wrong. On that very same evening, March 30th, 1981, when George H.W. Bush would have been elevated to the presidency by the alleged act of John Hinckley Jr., President Bush's son, Neil, was scheduled to have dinner with John Hinckley Jr.'s brother, Scott. Small world indeed. To their credit, Neil Bush and Scott Hinckley canceled their dinner. One wonders if perhaps the dinner was canceled because the Hinkley's failed attempt, not because of the attempt itself. To add more intrigue to the story, you might not know that the psychiatric hospital where Hinckley was sent after the attempt had historical links to the CIA and CIA's MK-Ultra program. The CIA admits the MK-Ultra program was founded in 1953 and says it was halted in 1973. The documented purpose of the program was to discover methods to manipulate mental states and brain functions and to control the minds of non-consenting and unaware test subjects. The program tried psychoactive drugs like LSD and other chemicals, as well as electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and physical abuse, and torture. The program was unveiled to the public by the 1975 Church Committee, headed by Senator Frank Church. The investigation was hampered by the CIA's willing and intentional destruction of files related to the program. CIA Director Richard Helms is alleged to have given that order. None of this, of course, definitively proves that Hinckley made an attempt on Reagan's life on account of an order by his Bush-connected family or because he was brainwashed by a CIA mind control program. But it does raise the issue of why more people don't know the full story of the attempt on Ronald Reagan's life. Why don't more people know about the Hinckley family's connection to the Bush family? Why don't more people know about Vanderbilt Energy and its legal problems that would have been solved overnight by a sympathetic president of the United States? Why don't more people know about the very real history of our government's attempt to control the minds of both witting and unwitting subjects? I thought of this story last night when Mrs. Coleman and I stopped by a Steak and Shake after running a few errands. If you're going to get fast food, you might as well stop by a Maha-inspired fast food chain. It has Greasy French fries cooked in beef tallow instead of seed oils. This is not a paid product endorsement. It's just an honest account of where we stopped and why. When I went to place my order, I felt a little like the caricature of George Bush in the supermarket back in 1992. For context, I've been eating at this very same Steak and Shake location since I was in high school back in the 1990s. You used to walk in, grab a seat, and the server would come by and take your order. At some point along the way, the server was removed and you placed your order with a cashier at the register. Now the cashier has been removed and you have to take your own order on a touchscreen kiosk. The problem is that my orders aren't easy. I like to create orders at the Steak and Shake. I don't want cheese or buns, for example. I want my patty and burger trimmings on the plate with a bed of fries. I'm weird and I can accept that. And I grew increasingly frustrated at the impersonal nature of the encounter and the growing realization I wasn't going to get what I wanted. I wasn't talking to a human who could understand my admittedly strange order and make sure things come out the way I want them. So we left. We decided to stop by Shake Shack instead. We got to Shake Shack and ran into the same issue. Touchscreen kiosk, no human being. Some may not be bothered by this, but it bothers me. I don't want to give my order to a robot. I don't want to punch it in myself on a touchscreen kiosk. I want human interaction. I want human understanding. That's not me being an out-of-touch elitist who doesn't understand new technology. That's me being a human being. We long for connection, belonging, and humanity. There may eventually be no restaurant standing that hires actual human beings to interact with their customers. But until that reality comes to pass, I'll keep going to ones that do. And for the record, Mrs. Coleman and I went across the parking lot and dined at the restaurant where my daughter works. My daughter is the beautiful 19-year-old girl at the cash register taking customers' orders. So with that, that is the opening statement. I saw somebody in the comments saying, go to the drive-thru. I don't want to go to the drive-thru. I don't want to go to the drive-thru. Oh, yeah, somebody else said just use the self-checkout at the grocery store. I sat beside somebody the other day with 74 items in their cart, booping the boop machine one at a time. Boop. And then like 4 minutes would go by while they were fuddling. Can I get the UPC symbol? Boop. Took forever. It's absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. I guess I could show that picture now of George H.W. Bush. I just couldn't do it while my opening statement was up. Let's see here. This is George Bush at the boot machine. He was totally baffled by it. This picture basically undid his presidency. They put that picture in the New York Times with a story about how he was amazed at the cash register. And ordinary people looked at that and they were like, oh, he doesn't identify with us. I'm voting for the guy who plays sax from Arkansas. All right. Let me get to the biggest news of the night. This is a real issue. There's a leak in TPUSA. And there's a leak in Brian Harpole's security company. And by comparing the leaks, I have been able to do some good old-fashioned shoe leather reporting. So I want to put up a schedule that Charlie Kirk was supposed to be on this fall before he passed away. I want to put up a schedule that Charlie Kirk was supposed to be on this fall. This is using the Wayback Machine. I had to use the Wayback Machine because TPUSA has hidden everything. They have made it absolutely nearly impossible to find anything. But this is the Utah Valley University Prove Me Wrong table. This is from September 7th, 3 days before Charlie Kirk passes away. This is what the American Comeback Tour website looked like. So we have September 10th. We have September 18th, an evening event and a Prove Me Wrong table. And then we have September 22nd at the University of Mississippi, also another evening event, and then September 24th at Virginia Tech. And the reason I raised those dates is because Brian Harpole, if you recall on the Sean Ryan show, said that they started prepping a couple of weeks before these events. In addition to these events, I will play a piece from the Candace Owens show Friday where she talked about an event that was taking place on, actually, let me put that on a different screen because I don't want to be looking sideways. Y'all think I'm weird. Where she talked about an event taking place the very next day. And this is important. I'm going to explain to you why I'm sharing all this with you in light of the very real leak out of TPUSA and out of Brian Harpole's security company. This is pretty devastating for them. This is going to cause real problems as soon as we announce this tonight. But here's how Candace Owens described the situation.
Well, interestingly enough, I received a tip from someone that was directly involved with the planning of an event that Charlie Kirk was supposed to attend the following day on September 11th, the day after his assassination. Charlie was slated to speak in Woodland Park, Colorado at the Charis Bible College. Okay, so that's in Woodland Park, Colorado. He was slated to speak there. And according to this person, after Charlie got assassinated, there was a bit of a panicked meeting that took place, which was headed by the chief of police. They decided to transform this event into a vigil, and they were panicked because, believe it or not, they had absolutely no security plan in place. They thought, how odd. We don't have a security plan in place. Now we better consider this, and we need to make sure that we have police officer involvement. Why didn't Dan Flood and Brian Harpole and Turning Point USA's security have any coordination with the police departments up in Colorado?
It's a good question, Candace. It's a great question, as a matter of fact. I'm going to go one step further tonight and report new details on that event. But I'm not going to do it yet because I next have to show you a second event that was scheduled to take place on September 19th and 20th. September 19th and 20th of the month. So we have a September 11th event, a September 10th event where he passes away. We have a September 18th and 19th event, or 19th and 20th event right here. This is the Culture and Christianity Conference. This is in Tennessee, I believe. Speaker lineup here. Charlie Kirk was scheduled to speak at the conference. Obviously, he was not able to make it. Has a nice lineup here. These are all fantastic. Well, there's some really fantastic people up there, and then there's some duds. I will say I like Sage Steele. I love Jason Whitlock. Eric Metaxas is a little bit of a dud. Rob McCoy, obviously, you know my thoughts on him. I like 2010 and 2012 Rob McCoy. If I could get that Rob McCoy back, that would be fantastic. Yeah, so let's just say there's a couple of people there that were all right. So no security on September 11th, according to Candace, when he was supposed to travel to Woodbury, Colorado. Then we find out he had an event September 18th and 19th, or excuse me, 19th and 20th, or 19th or 20th. We're not sure which. And if we go back to the American Comeback Tour, we find out that's not the only event. No, because remember, before the September 19th and 20th event, we have Colorado State University. Prove me wrong. Colorado State University, evening event. So he was going to be there all day, essentially, on September 18th in Colorado. And so I want to raise an issue for you. Actually, I want to play one more thing. I want to play one little clip here of Brian Harpole. I bit the bullet, guys. I did something none of you would do. I went and watched Brian Harpole on Gary from Paramount Tactical. I saved you the pain of having to do it. Trust me, you did not want to do this. I know you didn't because no one else did. I saw the numbers. It was every bit what you think it was. So don't worry about having to turn it on. And YouTube, if you get mad at all the firearms in the background, it ain't me. I would blur them out if I could, but I'm playing it on your platform. Now, I want you to hear what he says here. I want you to hear what he says here. This is Brian Harpole talking about what happened after the Utah Valley University event on September 10th. Listen to what he describes.
And it was due to one incident where after Charlie was assassinated, our world was upside down, and I couldn't even get home for a long time. Got home, was home temporarily, boom, right back up there trying to assist the family, the organization with anything they needed. You know, you're literally just like a sprinter waiting in the blocks.
Okay, two relevant facts there I need you to follow. One, he couldn't even get home. Did you hear that? I couldn't even get home. So that was fact number one. Did anybody catch a problem with that fact right off the gate? Right out of the gate? He had an event the next night. Why was he going to be going home? So that's problem one, and that's not even the biggest problem. That doesn't have anything to do with the leak. That's all public information. Candace shared that he had an event the next day. I assume he would want to have security at his event. The only on-site, fully paid security would have been Dan Flood, presuming he was there. So that was number one. I couldn't even get home that night. Why were you going home? Why weren't you going to the event at Woodbury, Colorado the next day? And then the second thing was, and then he says, when I finally did get home, I was right back up there with those folks. I'm assuming he means Phoenix. So here's the news I'm going to break. And I want you guys to listen carefully to this because I'm going to use my words very, very cautiously. I do not want to have to repeat this a bunch of different ways if you guys can't get it. So I need you to tune in. I need you right here with me. Here is the reality. According to leaks out of TPUSA and out of Brian Harpole's very security organization. Here is the reality. Brian Harpole did not have a plane ticket home, is what I'm told. Brian Harpole did not have a plane ticket home from Utah Valley University. Nor did he have a plane ticket to Woodbury, Colorado, or anywhere near there. In fact, I'm told there was no plane ticket at all, that it was a one-way flight to Utah Valley University or to Orem or to Provo or Salt Lake City, wherever he flew in. It was a one-way flight, and there was no return flight scheduled. That's what I was told. And I believe this source. If there was a return flight scheduled, this insider doesn't know about it. Can't find a record of it. So that's problem one. So when he says he couldn't get home, one wonders when he had planned to try to get home. So that's problem one. Problem two is we know when he booked the flight to Orem, Utah, or to Provo, Utah, or to Salt Lake City, wherever he went. We know that. How do we know that? Because it was on the receipt, the email he gave in preparation for his alibi. Oh, someone said Woodland Clark. Is it Woodland Park, not Woodbury? Whatever. I mean, I'll try to turn it up a little bit, but if it starts clipping, I'm going to turn it back down. I see you guys complaining over there. So I have a question. I think it's incumbent. This is almost Mitch Snow level report. I think Brian Harpole owes an explanation for, did he have a plane ticket out of Utah? Did he have a plane ticket to Woodland Park, Colorado, or Woodbury, whatever it is? And because we know he was to be in Fort Collins, Colorado on September 18th, and we know he booked the flight more than 2 weeks or right at 2 weeks in advance of the Orem, Utah appearance, did he have a flight booked to the September 18th Colorado State University Prove Me Wrong event? Or, for that matter, did he have one booked to the September 22nd University of Minnesota event? Do you want me to spoil a little secret? You want me to tell you the answer to that question? Or do you think you already know the answer to that question? I'm told there was no flight booked to any of those. That's just what I'm told. Now, is it possible he had intended to get a flight back on the TPUSA Gulfstream 5 flight that they use? It would have been unusual. Perhaps. It would have been unusual, perhaps. But I want to go to the second thing he said, because he said as soon as he got home, he turned around, he was right back to Phoenix. Well, actually, it was like almost a week later. And so I just don't find his stories credible. I don't find what he says believable. But I suppose that's possible. But I'm told that would be unusual. I'm told that would be unusual. So I think it's more consistent with Candace saying he had no security the next day. There was no security plan in place at the Colorado event. And the chief of police looked around and said, have you guys not talked to anybody from them? How do we not have a security plan in place? I mean, the guy can't complain that we're covering this. He's been on 2 national podcasts. He brought this on. I mean, he himself went on 2 national podcasts. Nobody was actually asking for him to get involved on a national level. So he's made himself something of at least a limited purpose public figure. But I was told he had no return flight booked from DFW, booked to DFW from Utah. I was told there was no flight booked to Woodland Park event the next day, no flight to Fort Collins, Colorado. Indeed, there was no flight anywhere booked that I could find, according to the sources, back to his home. And again, that just strikes me as very unusual. Very, very unusual. So that is, I think, somewhat, at least, not only breaking news, not only insider news, but at least it's additionally support for Candace's position that there was no security plan in place the next day. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. Okay. So I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to move on from Brian Harpole. I'm glad I only had to play like 28 seconds of that interview. Trust me, guys. Trust me, that's more than you wanted to watch. I can assure you, you did not want to see that. Now, here's the second thing I want to cover. We were all scandalized. Every one of us was scandalized when we had to look at the tent. When we had to look at the tent up at AmFest and people were taking selfies in front of the tent. Would you guys be shocked to know this isn't the first time the tent had made an appearance? You guys remember the Turning Point tour went on, right? Mississippi State, LSU, Minnesota, Indiana, Ole Miss. Well, here's one of them. I actually don't remember which one this is. There's this one. That's at one of the stops. And there's this one. I think this was LSU. Oops, sorry. Oh, did I screw it up? Oh, yeah, I did. Let me go back. I'm not very good with the PowerPoint stuff. Here we go. If you, I think this is the LSU event here. This is either LSU or Ole Miss. LSU or Ole Miss, and then this was the other one, whichever one it wasn't. They have people taking selfies, again, under the tent. This was not unique to AmFest. So this wasn't like, hey, we're having the Super Bowl of TPUSA. We're going to Phoenix. We're having AmFest. It's our biggest event of the year. Charlie would have wanted to be here. This was his Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and put the tent out under which he was murdered. No, friends. That's not it. It's so much worse than that. They're carrying the tent with them, allegedly. I mean, I'm looking at pictures of it. And this is from one of our gracious emailers, one of our very high IQ emailers was able to track these images down. This is not something they did for the first time at AmFest. These morbid people have been carrying this around. And look, there's a photo and video release, meaning we might take your picture underneath the tent. And there's social media tags up beside it. I just don't understand the morbid, dark, twisted, sick minds of these people. I really don't. And it bothers me and it worries me. It worries me because, again, as I talk about with Andrew, there are souls at play here. There are human souls at risk with this. There's something deeply disturbed and wrong with these people. There are so many missing steps and questions. For example, maybe Brian Harpole planned to fly private. Okay. But I think he owes us an explanation. I really do. I'm trying to, like I always, any argument I make, anything I say on here, any point I make on here, I always try to think of what the other side would say in response. And that's what if I'm TPUSA or Brian Harpole, that's what I would say is, well, I had other plans. I didn't book it through my work. I was just going to jump a ride with TPUSA. They were going to give me a ride back. Nobody at work knew about it. Okay. Fine. Tell us that, because it's deeply concerning. And is this normal? Have you ever done that before? And why didn't you have flights booked? If you were planning to go home between the Utah Valley University and the Colorado State event, why didn't you have a flight booked to Colorado State? Now, again, it could be, well, I didn't book it through work. I was planning to fly private. Was this normal? Do you normally fly private to these events? Because I was told that would be unusual. That would be a little unusual. But I cannot think for the life of me of any alternative explanation for the tent. Like, I've tried. The best I can come up with is people have a deep connection to Charlie Kirk sitting under tents, and this would somehow allow them to keep that deep connection alive. I mean, that's like the best I can come up with. That's honestly the best I can come up with, and I don't know. That is so weird to me. I can't believe somebody there was like, guys, don't do this. Whatever you do, don't put the tent up. We've all seen the gory footage, and the tent is part of the lore. Don't do it. It's like a satanic sacrifice. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. All right. I gotta switch topics here. I'm never going to get through everything. I am going to bring up, I'll go ahead and just bring the whole thing up, and then you guys can take a look at it. We are going to switch topics to the state's filing. Now, this was given to me by Blake Bednars on a X space last night. He texted this over to me. This is the filing, and there's some things I want to read out of it because it gives us real keen indication, perhaps, of what the state is intending to argue in the Tyler Robinson case. If you guys recall, there was a problem where one of the prosecutors had a child who was at the event. One of the county prosecutors who is actively prosecuting Tyler Robinson had a child who was at the event. I'll show you in a moment where that child was. I believe it's a female child. I believe I know exactly who it is. I'm confident I know exactly who it is, but I'm not going to name her on here. But I'll say her because that cuts 50% of the population out. But this is the state's motion in opposition to disqualify the Utah County Attorney's Office. So I want to read from a little bit of the relevant facts, just a few paragraphs here of the relevant facts. On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk hosted an outdoor forum Sponsored by Turning Point on the campus of Utah Valley University. The event began several minutes after noon. Charlie Kirk sat on a stool under the tent at the bottom of the amphitheater, facing the Quads Center, where a microphone was set up a few feet away for attendees to debate him. I didn't find anything particularly compelling or controversial there. There was no line of sight. So here what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out if the Utah County Prosecutor's Office should be excluded on the basis of where the child was standing. In other words, would the child be called as a witness? There was no line of sight between the girl in the girl's position at the amphitheater and the shooter from the Losey Center's roof because the Sorensen Center stood between them. The girl would have had to move 75 feet to the southeast before establishing a line of sight with the shooter. Well, what is the problem you see here right out of the gate? It marries themselves to a single narrative, which is a gunshot came from the Losey Center. They're now marrying themselves to that. In other words, this girl can't be a witness because she couldn't have seen the Losey Center. Well, have the prosecutors or have Tyler Robinson's team seen the footage put out recently by I can't remember her last name, Kelly? She hangs out with Blake sometimes. She hangs out with Trigger Smart sometimes. I can't think of her last name for the life of me. Very talented reporter. And she comes out and she has spotted in one of the video feeds a figure moving on the Sorensen Center roof. Well, because they're marrying themselves to the Losey Center narrative, that kind of eliminates the fact that they might be looking into the Sorensen Center as a possibility at all. Now scroll down to paragraph 7. When everyone realized there'd been a shooting, attendees crouched down, and after a few seconds, people started running away. The girl followed suit. The girl ran into the building behind her, entering through the building's doors just north of. So again, establishing that everyone realized there had been a shooting. And I don't take this for granted. I don't look at this language and say, well, they can come back from this. No, their entire opposition rests on the fact that there was a shooting. I think potentially, if I'm Tyler Robinson, people, I come back and I say, hold please. Hold please. We don't admit there was Kelly Rabin. That's it. We don't admit there had been a shooting. We don't admit there had been a shooting. We would like to challenge the evidence that there was a shooting at all. We've not seen any evidence of a shooting. I've not seen video footage circulating of a shooting. I've seen nobody take a gunshot in any video footage. There are alternative explanations for how these injuries could happen, but no, this is the Utah County prosecutor basically marrying themselves to this. She never looked back at Charlie Kirk. Thus, she did not see him get carried away or see his wound. Also, she did not see anyone in the crowd or elsewhere with a gun. Did not see anything that made her believe anybody she saw was involved in the shooting. Again, establishing that she should not be called as a witness. She didn't see anything. Well, we'll question that in just a second. Final thing from the statement of facts here. Even after running into the building, she did not know what happened. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, according to the Utah County Prosecutor's Office, people in the crowd were unaware there was a shooting. You understand how significant that is right there. In an attempt to save the Utah County Prosecutor's Office, they're now hedging on the fact that witnesses might not believe there had been a shooting. Don't let that get past you. On the one hand, they're saying we can't be excluded because there was a shooting and she didn't see the shooting. On the other hand, they come right back behind it and say, in fact, the witness didn't even know there had been a shooting. You were at a shooting and didn't know there was a shooting? In fact, she just heard secondhand somebody had been shot. She sent 2 messages. We'll check out those text messages in a second to her family about the shooting. Those 2 text messages read, someone got shot. I'm okay. Everyone is going inside. Again, the Utah County Prosecutor's Office, in order to save themselves as the prosecuting agency on this case, has married themselves to there was a shooting and she was in a position where she couldn't have seen it. And then they went on to say, and she didn't even know there was a gunshot. People in the crowd, in other words, did not know there was a gunshot. Now, I want to fast forward here because a lot of this stuff is not necessary for the point I'm trying to make. And I want to read this paragraph right here, but I'm going to read it a little bit at a time and give you a little commentary. This is from the section titled, "Her potential testimony is neither necessary nor related to a contested issue." In other words, all these facts are uncontested. That's the Utah County prosecutor's position. I would love to read Tyler Robinson's attorney's response to this, because as a defense lawyer, why am I going to give them uncontested facts? I'm contesting every fact. I mean, we haven't even had a preliminary hearing yet. Why are we agreeing to facts? You know what I mean? I cannot make this strongly enough here. Guys, the preliminary hearing isn't even until May that we're aware of. Why are we agreeing to uncontested facts? I'm hoping Tyler Robinson's lawyers come back and say, we didn't agree to any facts. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm sorry, you guys were misunderstanding our position. Allow us, Judge, to clarify what it is we actually mean. We'll see if they file anything like that. Accordingly, this is, again, supposedly uncontested facts. The testimony that she, meaning the daughter of the prosecutor, the testimony that she could provide as a witness is both duplicative and obtainable from any other sources. What is more, the 5 witnesses whose witness statements defendant attached to his motion had personal knowledge of many more facts than she did. I'm going to assume they did not use incorrect English there and end with her name. I'm assuming they added the verb at the end of it. But whatever. We're going to let it pass. Unlike her, all 5 of the witnesses defendant identifies were much closer to Charlie Kirk when he was shot. Do you see that? This is supposed to be a section of uncontested facts. Tyler Robinson's lawyers need to push back on this. And all 5 saw the consequences of the shot, describing Charlie Kirk's death in gruesome detail. The consequences of the shot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you how it works in the law. In order to be found guilty, the prosecution bears the burden. The defense does not have to prove a thing. In fact, the defense doesn't even have to put on evidence. The defense does not have to put on a case at all. The defense, in fact, in every jurisdiction I've tried a case in, I've never tried a case in Utah, admittedly. In every jurisdiction I've tried a case in, I think it's been 10 or 11, maybe 12 different states I've tried cases in, criminal cases. You have to move at the end of the prosecution's case in chief. You have to move after they close to dismiss the case, or not to dismiss, to rule in favor of the defendant in order to preserve your right to appeal. Those are the cases I've tried. That's what happens. And then the judge will establish, no, they've met the minimal burden in order to let the jury hear it. Would you like to put on a case? But at this point, we haven't even sworn in a jury. We haven't picked a jury. We haven't finished discovery. They're still sending stuff back and forth. Why? Why are we agreeing to uncontested facts that include that he was shot? Because keep in mind, in order for the prosecution to meet that very high burden, and the burden is very high, it's the highest burden in the law. The reasonable doubt standard is the highest burden we have in the law. Meaning, no person on that jury can have any reasonable doubt whatsoever that the defendant is guilty. If there's any reasonable doubt at all, the jury either hangs or they're acquitted. That's it. Those are the only options. So why would Tyler Robinson's attorneys concede to one of the elements? One of the elements is that he was shot. Or that there was a wound or there was some cause of death that Tyler Robinson caused. I don't know the murder statute precisely in Utah, but I guarantee you it means there's something in there where the defendant has to be responsible for the death of the victim. I promise you. Why on earth would you concede to the gunshot? No, I need you to prove there was a gunshot. I need you to prove there was a gunshot. I need you to prove that whatever happened where you think my client was, whatever tool, whatever weapon you think my client might have used in order to perpetuate the death of the victim, I need you to prove that that implement was used and that is what caused the injuries and that the injuries are consistent with that implementation you're alleging was used. All right, let me fast forward a little bit more. Again, I genuinely hope Tyler Robinson's lawyers are not conceding a gunshot. Because if so, they need to watch this program. They need to watch a lot of programs. There are a lot of people out there right now, not just your humble host. A lot of people are looking at this saying, this doesn't look like a gunshot to me. Like, why didn't it go through the back of his neck? All right. Now we got to get to no conflict of interest here. Because Mr. Deputy Attorney has no conflict of interest, I'm going to let me read you this first paragraph here. But I'm gonna raise an issue that I think must be answered in front of the judge. And if I'm Tyler Robinson's lawyers, I almost have to swear in this witness anyway, which is going to potentially disqualify at least that person. But I'll get to that in a second. Defendant also argues that because Mr. Deputy Attorney has a potential conflict of interest that requires disqualification, the personal conflict of interest must be imputed to the entire Utah County Attorney's Office because it took no steps to screen the Deputy Attorney from the case and because he exercises supervisory authority over the office. All right. Let me show you the basis that I would attack because I think this is devastating to me. I put this on X today and I didn't get a good answer from anybody. I don't want to say that. I didn't get a satisfactory answer. I got some good answers. This is the affidavit filed in this case by the 18-year-old. I want to scroll through, read a few lines, and then I'm going to ask you a question. But let's hold all questions until I get to the end of it. It's not long. While under oath or affirmation, I swear to the truthfulness of the following facts. My name is blank. We all know her name, but I'm not going to say it. I'm 18 years old. Blank, who works at the Utah County Attorney's Office, is my father. I was present at Utah Valley University, where I am a student, on September 10th, 2025, when Charlie Kirk was shot. Now, the only things that are permitted in affidavits are personal knowledge. Does she have personal knowledge Charlie Kirk was shot? No. I would move to strike that. I would be good. If I'm Tyler Robinson's lawyer, I'm throwing a line in the sand very early on. And I'm saying, no, we're striking from the affidavit that Charlie Kirk was shot. I'm not allowing that. An affidavit is testimony. An affidavit is testimony, and a testimony has to be based on personal knowledge. She already admitted she doesn't have personal knowledge. She already admitted she doesn't have personal knowledge. She said, or they said earlier, that she had to go inside and had to ask what the hell happened out there. And it was inside when someone else told her she was shot. You're not allowed to put that kind of hearsay in an affidavit. So she doesn't have personal knowledge she was shot, but that's not the point I want to hang up on here. That's a side issue. I attended a class before Charlie Kirk event and arrived at the courtyard where the event took place at approximately 11:15 a.m. That at approximately 11:15, that actually should have been right here. I attended a class before the trial and arrived at approximately 11:15 a.m. at the courtyard. Okay. You got to be precise. Legal language is precise. The event did not take place at 11:15. You arrived at 11:15, but that's neither here nor there. Their English in this stuff, in both the motion and the affidavit, is pretty terrible. Does not make a good impression on me. I watched the event from the far right side of the amphitheater. I've marked my location with an X and Charlie Kirk's location with an XX on the image below. And I'll show you that image. She mentioned she left her bag. She mentioned he threw out hats. While the second person in line was speaking with Charlie, I was looking around the crowd when I heard a loud sound like a pop. Someone yelled, "He's been shot." Everyone crouched down. After a few seconds, people started running. I ran to the doors to the northwest of where I was. I entered a building near the HF on the image. As I was in the building, I did not really know what happened. That's important to me. I heard someone had been shot. At 12:25, I texted a family group chat. Someone got shot. I'm okay. Everyone's going inside. After I sent those messages, I spoke to someone in the building with me who told me that Charlie had been shot. I then texted the family group chat. Charlie got shot. And she has screenshots of that below. And then she talks about walking to find a friend. I did not see Charlie get shot. So you don't have personal knowledge he was shot. The last time I saw him before I looked away, before I heard the gunshot, I did not see him getting carried away or see his wound. This is interesting here. Both before and after the shot, as I looked around, I saw students and people who were there to watch the debate. Most were students. Some were older. That's been a recurring theme. A lot of people noticed there were a lot of older people there. I did not see anyone with a gun. I did not see anything that made me believe anyone I saw was involved in the shooting. And here is the image she provides of where Charlie was with the double X and where she was. Now, why might you want to call her as a witness, ladies and gentlemen? I would put her on the witness list based on this alone. Why would you put her on the witness list? She's standing right next to the bush where the guy in the maroon shirt was standing in. She's standing right next to the bush that Butch Hibbs allegedly was talking to. She's standing right in front of the Losi Center, which, by the way, this is not an accurate representation of this facility because those trees are not there. There are not that many trees there. There are 2 trees in front of the Sorensen building. This is the Sorensen building right here. There are 2 trees there. There's not 50 trees. This is not an accurate representation. But she is standing right next to the disputed bush. Why is there did you see a guy in a maroon shirt? Did you see anyone else in the bush? How many people were in the bush? Did you see anybody holding anything in front of them in the bush? Was anybody holding what looked like an iPad in front of the bush? In the bush? You know how many questions I would have for this witness now that I know we have one right next to the disputed bush? Put her on the witness list. Put her on the witness list. Tyler Robinson's lawyers, what the hell are you guys doing? Are you conceding he was shot? That is a contested fact. Are you conceding there's no weirdness going on in the bush? What about immediately after the shot? Do you remember how immediately after the shot, people were directing from right there? I could go show you the Life is Driving video. Adam Bartholomew captured them when he leaned over the rail and showed us from the top. There were 2 people on basically either side of that X directing traffic. One in front of the bush that had people standing in it, oddly and weirdly, and one just about where that X is, standing in front of a light pole. In fact, I can't think of anyone at the event I might want to talk to more than this person. I would love to talk to this person. I might move immediately, if it's permitted in Utah, to take this person's deposition right now. I think it's incredibly important to keep all of this in context. If they're going to be married to the fact that there was a gunshot, then make them eat it. Challenge it. Win on that issue. If they're going to suggest that this attorney does not need to be disqualified, this supervising attorney in the department doesn't need to be disqualified because his daughter wasn't in the line of sight with the Losi Center, then turn and look what she was standing next to. Go watch the hours and hours and hours of podcasts of people looking at that bush going, what the hell's going on in that bush? Do you need me to pull up the Life is Driving video and show you a guy standing in the bush? Do we need to look at all the images from Charles McClintock Wilson where there's a guy standing in the bush in a maroon shirt? Do we need to show you how immediately after the event, there's a guy standing in the bush hunched over what looks like it might be an iPad or something? In other words, the types of things you might use to control drones, and you might stand in the bush to knock down the sun so you can see because the bush provides a little cover and you don't look so weird holding an iPad and controlling something in front of you. I don't know if that's what was going on in there, but you know who might? You know who might know if that's what was going on in there? You know who might make a damn good witness on this issue? You know who might make the best witness in America on this issue? Someone standing where that X is. Someone standing where that X is might be the witness that blows this case wide open if you're Tyler Robinson's defense team. And I can't believe for the life of me, Tyler Robinson's defense team would get this filing and this affidavit and go, I guess we're cooked. No, fight back on the gunshot. We don't contest that. We don't concede there was a gunshot. What are you talking about throwing this in the uncontested facts? We don't contest that she's not a witness. She's standing right next to one of the most important spots in the entire facility. In fact, a tremendous part of our defense may end up being that very bush, and she might be the most important witness there. I hope they're watching. I hope they're checking out. I hope they're giving Tyler Robinson a zealous defense. That's all I hope. Now, here's my real question. That wasn't even my real question. None of that was my real question. All of that was just me telling you what I might do if I was a criminal defense lawyer representing Tyler Robinson and I was presented with this affidavit and that filing. Here's the real problem. Do you think an 18-year-old drafted that? Do you think an 18-year-old drafted this affidavit, put together this diagram, thought to put together the text from that day? Do you think an 18-year-old said, aside from being scared at the time, I've not had any lasting trauma from the event? Hell, this reads like Tyler Robinson text to Lance Twiggs. Oh, I expected her to put my love in here. I expected her to put my love. My name is blank. I'm 18 years old, my love. How are you? Are you doing okay? I might want to put her under oath to ask her who helped her put this together. Was it the Utah County prosecutors? In other words, are they representing one of the witnesses? You guys want another angle for disqualification? Are you actively representing one of the witnesses? That's a problem. If you guys are actively representing one of the witnesses, that becomes a real issue. That's something we've got to figure out. That's something we got to figure out. So, oh man, that took longer to get through than I thought. Actually, I want to play the text because I want to show you how 18-year-olds really text. And then I want you to contrast these texts. This is on the record text messages from people about the age of Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson. She is in the blue. Someone got shot. I'm okay. Everyone's going inside. Again, I'm not pointing this out to like grammar shame her. I'm pointing out that this is how 18-year-olds text and they have poor grammar. That's a comma splice right there. I'm okay, comma, everyone's going inside. That's a comma splice. It doesn't need to be there. What needs to be there? A period. And again, I'm only pointing this out to contrast Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs talking to each other. My love. Charlie got shot. Oh my gosh. People say he was shot in the neck and his head like tilted or something. Again, the word like, his head like tilted or something. I mean, you could almost see this like 18-year-old writing this, right? It sounds like an 18-year-old. What the heck? Insane. I'm guessing the what the heck was one of the other children in the family. Probably not the supervising county attorney father who was on this text thread. Insane. He had answered one question and was talking to the next person. Is he confirmed? Is it confirmed? Like, is he dead? Again, like, no proper punctuation. You've got 2 questions, 1 question mark, no conjunction. Did you hear a gunshot or what sounded like a gunshot? Look, that's Dad. That's the county attorney. Now you can see what an adult and law enforcement. Now you can see what an adult in law enforcement sounds like. Oh, complete sentences, punctuation. Look, it even has the comma after her name. I'm not going to say her name, but we'll call her Sue. Sue, comma, did you hear the gunshot or what sounded like a gunshot? What? Oh, my heck. Now, that is not Dad. Dad does not say what? Oh, my heck. Was there what blank was there? He said they found the shooter and put him in a cop car. Oh, so-and-so was there. He said they found the shooter and put him in a cop car. Again, no punctuation. Run-on sentence. No capitalization. Now, that is how young people talk. This is her writing back. I for sure heard it. Everyone started screaming and running. A few people said they saw the shot hit his neck. Not sure. I left my bag with all my stuff because I didn't have time. Shooter was on the roof. Who said shooter was on the roof? Is this Dad? Is Dad now imputing facts into this? Doesn't surprise me. Weird thing is the guy debating him in the moment was talking about shootings in the U.S., I think. So that is the content of it. That is how 18-year-olds talk. They do not sound like whoever else. Making sure y'all didn't see anything crazy there. They don't sound like Humphrey Bogart. That's not what 18-year-olds sound like. Okay. So that would be my question for the prosecution. Did you guys draft this for her? Are you now representing witnesses? Are you representing witnesses? Because if so, that becomes a serious issue. You guys might have been disqualified just based on that alone. Who in the office? Was it only the dad? Or were there other people there? All right, this next one's where it's going to get a little fun. This next story is pretty fun. Now, we got a little Satanism angle. We got wild-looking eyebrows. I want to pull something up here. Where is it? There we go. This guy's picture gets shared a lot. He's the most evil-looking SOB in the world. His name's Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino was a military officer. He also, if you see here, he was known for the Temple of Set. We'll talk about that in just a second. His religion is theistic Satanism. He also happens to be a, military man. So we'll get through this in just a second. He's a military officer and Satanist, a founder and high priest of this Temple of Set. Also a specialist in psychological warfare for military intelligence and an officer in the United States Army. We'll get back to him in just a second because he wrote a book. He wrote a book called Mind War. Michael Aquino helped write this book called Mind War. Now, this is related to violent warfare, how to combat it. Not merely a military book. It's human, political, and social interaction generally, identifying and refining what were previously only vague or unknown mental processes into a new science of thought architecture. Mind war. It is talking about mind control, mind war. From PSYOP to mind war is what it's talking about here. From PSYOP to mind war. Now, one of the people who allegedly helped him write this book was a guy named Paul Vallely. Paul Vallely was a U.S. Army Major General, former senior military analyst for Fox News. No surprise there that Fox News would hire somebody who wrote a book called Mind War, talking about how to screw your mind up. Here it is right here. 1980, Valley co-authored the book Mind War with Michael Aquino. So that's the book we were just talking about. Now, Paul Vallely was part of the 7th PSYOP group in the 351st Civil Affairs Command. Here's the 7th PSYOP group. It was organized in 1965. It is, where did it go? No, it's up here. Within the psychological operations battalions, there are a number of tactical psychological operations companies. So they do tactical PSYOP development detachment, focuses on product development, target audience analysis, product distribution, face-to-face engagement. This is what this Paul Vallely was specialized in. He also worked for the civil affairs units. The primary mission of civil affairs is to conduct civil military operations, responsible for executing 5 core civil affairs tasks: civil information management, foreign humanitarian assistance, foreign assistance, population resource control, support to civil administration. Again, these people deploy with PSYOP units, intelligence units. This is a psychological warfare operation. So you have Michael Aquino and Paul Vallely writing a book called Mind War about mind control. And where does Paul Vallely end up? Well, he ends up on the team at TPUSA. This is his bio on the TPUSA webpage. This is the team, tpusa.com/team. You get Paul Vallely, and it brags about all this. Talks about his combat experience, talks about his 15 years experience in special operations, psychological, civil military operations. Talked about him being a military analyst on television and radio. In other words, he is furthering his mind war career. He is engaging in the mind war on us, and TPUSA looks around and goes, yeah, that's the kind of guy we want on our team. That's exactly who we want. That's him right there, Paul Vallely. This is the group of advisors, the advisory council for Turning Point USA. That's the guy we want on our team, the psychological operations guy. That's the guy we need, Paul Vallely. Now, I'm looking at this, and I think to myself, I need to know more about this Michael Aquino. He's the guy with the weird eyebrows. Paul Vallely looks like he's kind of normal. In order to be a major general, you kind of got to fool people into thinking you're pretty sane. So I go looking for anything I can find on Michael Aquino. And I cannot show you this next slide because it will give up an address. But just trust me when I tell you, this is an address to a P.O. box in San Francisco, California. I find a P.O. box where Michael Aquino took his mail. And I thought, ooh, I'm onto something here. I open up the P.O. box in Google, the P.O. box number, San Francisco, California. It's a 6-digit P.O. box. It ends 07. I'll just say that. P.O. box --07. I open that up and I get other people who took their mail at this P.O. box. Not just Michael Aquino, not just his wife Lilith, but other people. A guy from Woodbridge, Virginia, which is frankly right outside of Quantico, which is a little concerning. A guy named Robert Menschel. I'll get to him in just a second. He lived in New York. I wondered, what on earth is this guy doing? So I dig in this stuff up. I'm just digging away. And I find out the P.O. box is actually registered to the Temple of Set itself. This is a Satanist temple in San Francisco, a theistic Satanist temple, meaning this isn't Satanism in the 21st century way where people are like, I just don't like Christians, so I tell them I'm a Satanist and it drives them crazy. No, friends. That's not this. This is theistic Satanism, meaning I'm aware of God and I chose the bad side. I went with the other guy. Like, I'm aware of how the story ends and I'm choosing to be on the losing side. That's theistic Satanism. But I looked up this Robert Menschel because Robert Menschel was one of the people mentioned as having a P.O. box here. I'm going to show you his obituary. I'm assuming it's the same Robert Menschel. I was able to tie it down, and I'm pretty confident I'm right on this. I'm raising the possibility I might not be right, but this is his obituary. He's old. The Dalton School mourns the passing of Robert Mitchell. Where have we heard the Dalton School before? You guys remember the Dalton School? It's been in the news here in the last couple of years. Mourns the passing of Robert Mitchell, father of David and Lauren. The Dalton School Board President and Honorary Trustee Robert shared sage and thoughtful counsel with our school and provided inspired leadership. We extend our deepest sympathy to his entire family. The Dalton School was where Jeffrey Epstein got his start. And so I'm immediately intrigued. We've got a theistic Satanist temple in San Francisco. We have a P.O. box registered to this theistic Satanistic temple. And when I plug in the P.O. box's number in Google, it looks very much like this guy, Robert Mitchell, is taking his mail there, or at least has taken mail there before. Like it showed up on a website. I wish I could show you the slides, but it would dox these people, and I don't want to do that. I know YouTube's weird about that. So I Google Robert Mitchell, and I find out he has a Wikipedia page. This is great. You guys are going to love this trail I ran down. This is what happens when you have ADD and you a podcaster. You just keep going, baby. Just gas. There's nobody to stop you. He was an investment banker, a philanthropist, had a 50-year relationship with Goldman Sachs, made a whole bunch of money when Goldman Sachs went public, right there, $20 million back in, the 90s, late 90s? But that wasn't even what interested me. What interested me is his nephew-in-law, meaning his brother's son-in-law. It's a guy named Bill Priestap. I look at this and I think, I know who Bill Priestap is. Bill Priestap is the guy who started Crossfire Hurricane against Donald Trump. Bill Priestap was the assistant director of the FBI Counterintelligence Division from 2015 to 2018. Here's where he was named the assistant director of the Counterintelligence Division. This was during the Trump campaign. Oh, hold on. I got you on the wrong tab. Hold, please. There we go. Here's where he was named the assistant director. This was 2015. This was 5 months into the Trump run. The first Trump administration run. FBI Director James Comey has named E.W. Bill Priestap as the assistant director of the Counterintelligence Division at FBI headquarters. Priestap most recently served as the deputy assistant director of the Intelligence Operations Branch. And it goes through his history at how he entered in 1998, how he worked in Chicago after 2001. So I get all this Bill Priestap stuff going. And I think, how did that end up? Whatever happened to Bill Priestap? Because, again, it says he started the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. He was involved in the investigation into Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Well, that's putting it mildly. Priestap allegedly was the guy whose idea it was to go record Michael Flynn and get him kicked out of Donald Trump's first administration. That was Bill Priestap. He also was the guy. This is a really slick dude. This is a really slick dude. It goes through the whole Crossfire Hurricane thing right here. He notably decided to open Crossfire Hurricane into Trump's collusion, Russian collusion. He ensured that an FBI informant would meet with George Papadopoulos during the 2016 campaign. That kicked off the reason to give the warrants and to start spying on the campaign. Oops. Papadopoulos met with a London club with a U.S. citizen and FBI informer, Stephen Halper. And a female posing as a research assistant. You got to bring in the honeypots, right? The research assistant turns out to be an FBI investigator. Hey, gentlemen, hey, look at me. She ain't into you. She ain't into you. She's an op. Stay away from her. I'm just warning you guys. I'm trying to keep it on the up and up here. I'm trying to let you guys know that she ain't into you. She had the pseudonym Azra Turk. That should have been your first indication, George. He believed she was CIA, Turkish intel, yada, yada. Hold, please. Oh, here it is. British intelligence was informed of the FBI FARA case on Papadopoulos. So that's how we got the British involved in spying on us and the Australians. You'll notice this here. So we're getting all our Five Eyes people in here to do the dirty work we're not allowed to do. This Bill Priestap's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. Well, you would think a guy with that horrific of a reputation would have been shamed when he left office. You would think a guy like that would be out on the street right now begging, because surely nobody would trust a guy like that, right? Oh, no, friends. Here he is working at Strider Intelligence Technologies, leading authorities. He's been a speaker there. He's at a company called Braven. He's speaking at this conference here. Going on here. He's appearing on PBS. He's appearing on C-SPAN. I mean, this dude is everywhere. National Defense Industrial Association speaker. Like, you can't get more embedded into rich society and paying gigs than this guy is. In other words, you guys want to know my thoughts on who runs all this stuff? You think it's a coincidence that one of the guys who authored a book with a leader of a satanic cult works at TPUSA? I mean, this is the United States government. This is world government in general. This is who runs the operation. This is who runs the operation. This is a satanic operation, a 100% satanic operation. Oh, I had one more, but I'm not going to pull it up because it has his Robert Menschel. It has his Fifth Avenue apartment, his North Highlands, California address, his P.O. box in San Francisco, California that's shared with a satanic temple, his East Hampton address, his Wayne Scott, New York address. I mean, the guy's obviously very wealthy, lives in all the best places. So this is Bill Priestap. Oh, one more thing about Bill Priestap. I forgot to put this in here. This guy's everywhere. You want a guy that's willing to do all the dirty work? How about this? He was involved in the FBI's investigation of Hillary Clinton's use of an email server. He helped draft James Comey's statement that was a recommendation to not file charges against Hillary Clinton. So he steps down, and you would think he's in total shame. No. He's a fellow at Georgetown School of Foreign Service, an intel shop. Oh. I'll cover that tomorrow. Scratch that. I'll cover it tomorrow. I found another intelligence operation hiding out in the middle of the country. Right in plain daylight. And it's a place everybody's been trying to pin down, but here it is. So this is what you get. You get satanic guy writing book on mind control with a major general in the United States military who's involved in PSYOPs and civil affairs, which is PSYOPs. They write a book together. The major general who's involved in PSYOPs goes to work at TPUSA. The other guy goes and founds a satanic temple. He ends up with a P.O. box for the satanic temple that has some rich guy from Goldman Sachs taking his mail there, or at least using that as an address that it shows up on these searches. And then his brother's son-in-law is now out there moving and shaking and grifting and setting up United States politics to take down Trump during the 2015 campaign. Get Hillary Clinton. Case dismissed. And then going on to lead a life, being a director here and a director there, making all kinds of money. This is who runs our country. You want to know who runs these deep state operations? Satanists. You want to know who's advising TPUSA? Guys like that. Guys like that. So you want to know why I don't trust certain people? You want to know why I have trust issues when it comes to a place full of sexual deviants and liars? Guys like that. Guys like that. Guys like that. I wouldn't have a Paul Vallely on my advisory council. If you write a book on mind control operations in the United States, you're not on my advisory council. If you palled around with Satanists, you're not on my advisory council. Sorry. We'll get somebody else. I'm not letting you in our meetings. As soon as you tell me, oh yeah, I co-wrote a book on mind control operations with a Satanist. How much does the advisory council pay? How often do we meet? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You're not allowed to be on it. I do apologize. But this is what happens in my mind. I go down these things. I can hear my voice failing. We're an hour and a half into it, so I'm going to start getting into some of the super chats and give some reactions here. I did have actually one more story I wanted to go into, but I will save it for tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. I want to say this is a big one. Happy birthday, Mad World. She's one of the greatest moderators that ever was. Wait a minute. Is it the he? There's a he-she moderating team, and I can't remember which one Mad World is, but Mad World's been a phenomenal moderator from the very infancy of this operation. So happy birthday there. Thank you, Brandy. I see the Brandy's a member there. That's what that little Superman logo is. I don't know what that is, actually. Some kind of S logo there. But thank you for your membership. I will try to do another quick member live. Again, it's just extra. I give you guys 12 hours a week for free, minimum. Oftentimes more than that. You don't have to pay a dime for it. You just show up. You just watch. Have a good time with the rest of us. But there were people asking for a little extra interaction, and we're willing to pay the $10. I did get an answer on why some people are paying $9.99 and some people are paying $12.99. I think it has to do with the Apple App Store. I think people buying through certain programs, those programs are putting a fee on top of it. So I don't know how to get out from under that. I'm not sure about that, but I don't, and there may be other countries that have some sort of VAT tax or something. I don't know. But that kind of explains that. But we had a good time. We had a good time in it. 3 questions. Eric Kirk said, I forgive him. Tyler Robinson never admitted guilt. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. How can a Christian forgive when not proven guilty? 2, where did Mikey go after UVU? 3, was the CK UVU event live stream? Those are 3 great questions. Number 1, I think she could forgive. I don't know that she used Tyler Robinson's name when she says, I forgive him. I think we all assumed that's who she was talking about, but I didn't hear her say his name. So it's possible she was referring to someone else or just being more generically like whoever's responsible for my husband's death, I forgive him. That's possible. But I will go one step further and suggest that I don't trust anything that woman does. So I am over her and don't want to act like anything she did was innocent or calculated to be good. Number 2, where did Mikey go? We are told he went, made some phone calls, did it around a little bit, and showed up at the hospital maybe 45 minutes or so later. I think is the timeline. That was according to Frank Turek. 3, was the CK UVU event live streamed? We're told it was, but I've not seen one. I'm still waiting on audio from the Rode Go wireless Pro 2 microphone that Charlie Kirk was fitted with. That was his the microphone up here. It was on this side. That was the microphone up here. A Rode Go wireless Pro 2 microphone. We should have a WAV file that survived the bang on that microphone. And that's a very high quality microphone. So we should be able to have good audio from that. I would love to hear that. If you guys have contacts in UV, not UVU, at TPUSA, we would love to hear that. Terrell Farnsworth, you've been very forthcoming with your, he was shot video. You have been very forthcoming with your highly selectively edited version of the behind the Charlie Kirk head view that you showed Candace. We would love to hear the audio from the Rode Go wireless Pro 2 microphone. That will settle a lot of debate. It might prove there was a gunshot. Please look up grand solar minimums. Oh, you've come to the right place. When it comes to stars and stuff, I get decently lost. I mean, I get so deep into that stuff. I'm well aware of grand solar minimums. Occur about every 200 years, always aligned with extreme cold, crop failure, social collapse. Next one is projected around 2030. Public needs to know because when this hits, people get hurt. I agree. You want to know what kind of stuff I talk about with my wife? We went to eat, driving home. Actually, we went to run some errands, driving home. And I looked at, I mean, this is honestly like, can you imagine being married to me? Look her dead in the eye. I said, honey, have you ever heard anything about the year 536 AD? She was like, no. I was like, they alleged there was some kind of volcanic eruption. It put in like a decade-long freeze. Maybe a third or more of humanity died. It kicked off one of the plague events. Crops failed globally. They couldn't get sunlight through the atmosphere. It rained, molded, mildewed. It was a miserable, horrible existence. It's roundly considered the worst year ever on Earth for humanity. 536, 537 AD. And I'm surprised she didn't look at me and say, get out of the car. Like, why? I've had enough of this. I'm taking the car. I'm going home. You can walk. But she did not. She did not. She was kind. She was very kind. Hey, I know that guy. I know him. Yes. You could probably guess the relationship. Did I enable gifting membership options? I did not, but I'm told they're random anyway, that you just randomly get gifted a thing. But I've got to look into how to do that. Somebody emailed me about that, and there may be some setting I have to fix, and I haven't had a chance to look into it. I just got the email like 30 minutes before I went on air. The memberships were fun. Oh, somebody gifted one. So apparently it's enabled, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently it's enabled. You're on while the Niners playoffs game is on. I'm watching you instead. Oh, you watch sports ball? No, I'm just kidding. I watched the Hoosiers dominate Oregon the other night. If somebody wants to watch the Niners, put it on mute. You don't need to hear what the announcers say anyway. I watch most sports on mute. I come by it honestly. Let's see here. If you squint your eyes and turn your head just right, Butch Hibbs looks like he could be Ben Shapiro wearing a CIA disguise. Interesting. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because I heard his voice. If you go listen to like minute, I don't know, it's around minute 20 or so, maybe just before minute 20 of the Life is Driving video, Adam Bartholomew's video of the UVU event, you can hear Butch Hibbs talking. And you know what it doesn't sound like? Ben Shapiro. No, it sounds like a normal person having a conversation. And I didn't sound like that. The best description. This is I shouldn't say this. The best description I ever heard of Ben Shapiro's voice. I'm stealing this. This was from who said this? I think Martyr Maid said it on one of his podcasts. He said Ben Shapiro's voice is anti-Semitic. He said if you cast a character and you knew the character in the movie was Jewish and you gave it Ben Shapiro's voice, people would accuse you of anti-Semitism. I heard that and I thought that is brilliant. Like, I can't come up with something better than that. I just want to thank you for providing such great content. I've been listening to you since your Google days. First super chat, I totally enjoyed your unboxing video. God bless you and your lovely family. Oh, yes, I did. I unboxed the Intro to Logic book. That was on the member page. Yeah, I unboxed the Intro to Logic. Again, I've started reading through this when it gets quiet around here. As quiet as it can get with eight children in the house. Thank you for that generous donation. Thank you for you guys gifting memberships. That's great. Very kind of you. Since you're a Christian, perhaps you should let Joe repent. Her repentance can be reading to the group a passage from the Logic book. Joe, the ball's in your court. The ball's in your court, Joe. What are you waiting on? Anyone out there know if there were security? Yeah, I just answered that. Oh, I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if there were security plans in place. Great question. I do know there were not flight plans. That's what I was told. I'm open to correction. Brian, if you want to submit to me evidence that there were flight plans, I will correct that on the record, because all I can go by is your people telling me. That's all I can go by. And right now I believe them. And so if you email me, get in touch with me, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. You can email me and I will be more than happy to correct the record on that. Absolutely. I'm not trying to tarnish you if it's not true. I'm just told that it's true. Did the Pope bless your Vatican City blue hoodie? No, but that would be dope. Is that Vatican blue hoodie? Oh, I can see the finger of God reaching out to touch you with the truth. Well, thank you, Gary. That's kind. Gary, that's a good Gary right there. That's a good Gary. That's not like the Gary we played earlier. Actually, I shouldn't bang on Gary. I'm willing to give Gary another chance after the Charlie Kirk stuff blows over. I really genuinely am. I don't know why he's covered this story the way he has, but I am willing to, once this story blows over, extend the old olive branch and see what happens. Hey, Baron, loving the show. I'm training at seminary to become a Catholic priest. Can you please pray for me? Also, any advice for a young seminarian in his 20s? God bless. Always fight for the truth. You know what, to me, makes a good priest? I had this conversation. Actually, I was on should I show you the link? I was on a podcast, a friend of mine's podcast channel. Let me pull it up here. I'll show it to you. I think I gave this advice on that. If not, I should have. Let's see here. It was on my buddy Steven's podcast. Where is it? I'm surprised you guys haven't found it yet. Of course, I can't even find it. Where is it, brother? Well, maybe he took it down. Maybe he doesn't like me. Oh, here it is. Yep. So this is from May of this year. You'll see I have much shorter hair. Not nearly as handsome as I am today. Where is it? Oh. This is on Stephen Reiner's podcast. Ex-Protestant explains why he became Catholic. Good guy. Very good friend of mine. Go to the gym with him. Well, used to every day. Then he changed jobs. Now I hardly see him. But I gave the advice I think this guy's looking for. Because if you ask a Protestant, like, what makes a good preacher? Almost always they're going to say sermon. Like, I want a preacher who can shell the corn. I want a guy who can get up there and hammer for 45 minutes. If you ask, notice I wasn't in a hoodie. Most of you didn't even know I owned shirts that weren't hoodies. That's R-E-I-N-E-R-S. That's all someone asked on my text. How do you spell that? R-E-I-N-E-R-S. Stephen Reiners. He hosted me on his podcast. Very, very, very kind, gracious guest. I mean, gracious host. But if you ask a Protestant, they'll say what makes a great pastor is the ability to really get in there and drive home the message during the sermon. If you ask a Catholic that's not usually the answer you get back. I mean, a good homilist is nice, but it's only like 8 minutes of your day once a week. What I think a good Catholic priest is someone who cares, genuinely, deeply cares. Deeply cares. That's the difference to me between a good priest and a bad priest. Deeply cares about the community, deeply cares about the parish life, deeply cares about the individual parishioners, what's going on in their lives, deeply cares about the pastorate, deeply cares about the priesthood, deeply cares about the church. But it's got to be a care. The moment you stop caring, your people know. Your people know, and it becomes very obvious. Thanks for the donation. I really do appreciate that. And good luck to you, sir. Hi, Baron. Big fan of your extensive research, your humor, and this enthusiastic audience. The audience makes the show. Awaiting for a global spiritual awakening from your occasional yen donor. Yeah, you'll need a global awakening over there, because if we have an American awakening, you're going to get left in the dust. You need a global awakening over in Japan. I'm waiting for it too. I am skeptical. I'm skeptical that it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but I'm hopeful. Received 3 of Erica Kirk's high school yearbooks. Don't know if there would be any information in them you would need. Just an FYI. Keep up the good work. If you want to, you can send me photographs. Definitely wasn't the juice. Is that about OJ? OJ didn't do it, y'all. I'm telling you, OJ's innocent. I think his son did it. That's my opinion. I think OJ was willing to take the fall for his son, Jason, but we'll cover that another show. If you want to send me every page that has Erica Kirk in it, I don't really care about the rest of it, but if you want to send me, like, take pictures and send it, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, I'll be happy to look at it. Any good names for the members group? Someone suggested IQ Central. Ooh, or the the CIQ. Let me see. I don't have any. I'll let you guys come up with one. I don't want to control everything. Thank you, Bonnie. Hey, Blaine, recent viewer, first time commenter. I believe Charlie might have been on the autism spectrum. This might explain why he didn't recognize the hypocrisy of those people around him. I'm very intrigued, and I would love to ask Candace what she meant when she said he went to an X-Man school. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but she said he went to an X-Man school and was assigned like a Jewish guru who interpreted his dreams. Or maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe I'm jumbling facts, but I'd love to explore that some more. That I need to know more about. You're only the second podcaster I pay for a membership because I'm broke. And the other is Sabby Sabs. I love Sabby Sabs. What a great personality. Personality makes a podcaster. Also, you don't need a teleprompter. Mrs. Coleman could hold up the cue cards. She could. You don't know how our marriage works. Hey, honey, get in here and hold up cue cards for me. Oh, okay, sure. I'll get right on that. No, we got 8 kids. She does stuff. They were at church when I came on air. They went to the evening mass tonight, so I'm assuming they're back home. You flailing around makes the show. We wouldn't have it any other way. Your personality and the way you present info is what draws us in. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Got some new members to welcome in. Thank you. You did it. You got Joe's book. Yes, I did. That is awesome. Always makes me laugh when I need it the most for that. Thank you. Hey, thank you for your kindness, your generosity, your intellectual curiosity, and consistent intellectual and philosophical framework for the world, or why people like you. Calling Archangel Michael to protect you. I could use it. Like, you know who was a fan of Archangel Michael was Charlie Kirk. He was a fan. IQ Max. Thank you. I say you have the IQ Max. I'm a potter. I would like to make you and your family a set of mugs. Do you have any left-handers in your fam? If any kiddos have a color must, please let me know. Thank you for your work. Kerry Collins, not the quarterback, Kerry Collins. I have a left-hander, one. He is, I don't know if I want to give his exact age. He's 11. Wife and I are right-handers. Older kids are right-handers. I think the younger kids are right-handers. I haven't really figured out the 5-year-old yet. You know, you can't tell till they learn how to throw something. Because everybody looks like they're neither-handed until they learn how to throw something. Then you can kind of like figure out, oh, okay. Yes. I've heard this, but I'm not sure. I saw this on Project Constitution. I didn't see any documentation. That's the problem. And I don't even want to necessarily read it out loud. But that's the problem is anyone can say that. I need to see paperwork. And I like Project Constitution a lot. I really like Project Constitution. But I need to see paperwork. Throat coat fun for that cough during the countdown. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was because I was on the wrong mic. This mic was muted. It was the laptop mic I was still on because I was going through my checklist because I was running behind. No, I'm losing my voice. I'm really worried about tomorrow. I'm going to try my best not to say a word between now and when I go on air tomorrow. Totally agree. Love your show. Thank you. And very kind. The new Nashville Stadium will only have self-checkouts for food vendors. You know how many times I've been to the Titan Stadium in my life? Once this year to see the Colts, and once back in like 1999 or 2000. No, 2001 to see the University of Tennessee play Wyoming, I think it was. I'd have to go back and look at that game and see exactly what year that was. Only 2 times I've been in the stadium. Don't call a plumber, let it flow. What are we talking about? I don't remember. I don't remember, but I'm a little terrified, frankly. Ideas for member name: Baron and the Hoodies. Like Hootie and the Blowfish. How about Hoodie and the Blowfish? A-Team or Baron's High IQ Inquirers. Baron's non-A-denser chats. Don't share. Just kidding. Oh, No Joes and the Nobos. I like that one a lot. Man, Dan Bongino's gone off the rails. I have no idea. What has happened to that guy. It's got to be an op, right? It's got to be an op. Hey, Dan, we're not going to arrest anybody here at the FBI, so why don't you go back into the podcast world and just start banging on everybody who disagrees with you? Like anybody who asks for accountability out of the Trump administration, just crush them. Just smoke them. Just let them have hell. I don't know. Thoughts? What if half of CK's team thought it was a staged killing? Hospital surgeon pre-planned, push away EMTs for this, but military Brian Harpole brought the POW. The dude filmed Charlie Kirk dying. No 911. Love you, Michelle and Heather. So I thought of this, that there was a staged element. Again, I'm not married to it. I'm not sure I'm even 50% of the way there, but I have definitely entertained the idea that this was some sort of a staged encounter, and Charlie Kirk was in on it. And I've been assured by people who knew Charlie Kirk that would never happen in a million years, and that there was no way that's true, and I should give up that thought, and I'm evil for even thinking. I mean, I'm making a little exaggeration there, but not much. Not much. So I don't know, but it would explain to me a lot of the word I'm looking for. It would explain to me a lot of the weirdness surrounding the immediately surrounding his death, if you know what I mean. It would explain a lot of that, because you had the security team run in place and then drag him out of there like a rag doll. Why? Why are we dragging him out of there like a rag doll? He's got supposedly had a broken neck. But if half of the security team thought it was a staged event, they might just pick him up and run off. It would make sense to them to do that. So I've thought of it. Welcome to your future. Wall-E Animation and Skynet. Social credit enforcement brought to you by Palantir and Enderil. I know a lot of people that have gotten fantastically wealthy riding the Palantir train on the stock market. I'm not among them. I don't invest in companies I don't agree with. That's funny. I saw Erica Kirk at Fort Hawktua. Oh, that's great. That is great. Love your show. Adidas is my hubby's favorite too. You're married to a brilliant man. I'm getting into digging for info thanks to you. God bless you and your family. Well, thank you. Very kind of you. Very kind. I think I addressed the $12.99 versus $9.99 thing. And somebody said don't share a message about it, but I'd love for you to talk with Mike Glover. He's retired Green Beret with a CIA contact that was told not to investigate. He also had Preparedness Org that was falsely designated DT back during COVID. I'll talk to anyone. I don't know that I'll have him on the show, but I'll talk to anyone. Oh, I am going to have Jason Goodman on the show. We're going to have a call. We're going to have a show, at least a segment, where we will break news about John Cullen. I don't want to spoil the whole show, but it's good. I am not such a tease. I'm not such a tease. I give you guys everything. I don't hold back. I might hold it a day and think about it, but then sometimes against my better judgment, I do it anyway. If Charlie used hotels on these tours, we should be able to find out what preparations were made, if any, past 9/10. Love your work. Yeah, I think the ball is now in the court of TPUSA and Brian Harpole's security group to prove preparations beyond September 10th. I think there is now a good faith basis to start demanding answers on that issue. We have inside information from a church group in Colorado that there was no security preparation done for the day after UVU. We now have information out of TPUSA and Brian Harpole's group that they don't believe there were plane reservations made for the security personnel beyond UVU. Guys, there was an event the next day. There was an event a week later. There was an event a week and a day later. There was an event a week and 4 days later. So I think the burden has shifted into their court to say, just like Brian Harpole provided flight reservations, provide your flight reservations. Show us you had flights. I'm curious. First job was at Steak and Shake in Memphis. Interacting with a robot is actually preferred. In Memphis, interacting with a robot's preferred. Someone got killed at a Wendy's near my house a year ago. Middle Tennessee people are so much nicer and less murderous. That's true. My neighbor's from Memphis. I think he would take offense to that. He's always spoken highly of it to me. Look, every state has an armpit. Every state has an armpit. Your body would not exist without your armpit. There's important things that go on in there. It's just kind of gross to think about. Notice I could have made a worse analogy. I could have said every state has something else, some other area. And important things go on there too. But you got to have one. I didn't go that route. I didn't do that to you, Memphis. Crisis King indeed. Thanks for saying blank this and blank that instead of the curse words. No problem. I try to keep it clean. My kids watch this show. My mom watches this show. From the heart, the mouth speaks. Also amazing you could read comments while doing your opening speech. Wild. I'm a man of many talents. How you think I got 8 kids? Oh, gosh. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I'm hoping she's not watching. Oh, goodness gracious. Kelly Bonilla, are you related to Bobby? We're picking up what you're putting down, Baron. Great work as always. Thank you. Cliz Bear. Justin Harrell, we love you and your exhilarating personality. Enough of that. Oh, trying to win me over. Hope you received my email where I sent you a tip about the drone energy wave laser from Erica's mom's business. No one is talking about it. Thank you. I think I got that. I think I read it today. I read a lot of emails today. I'd gotten a little behind, admittedly. I got my opening done very early today. Came home from church, immediately started writing. Took about 2.5 hours. Wasn't particularly long, and it was only like 1,700 words. It wasn't the longest opening I've ever written, and it allowed me to get caught up on some emails. I hope you weren't offended by the brevity. Barrett, I'm the one with the new show. I'm interviewing the Accurate Energy Solutions employee. I think it was Accurate Energy Systems. Might be Solutions. You were going to help pre-interview. I emailed you multiple times. I need to connect ASAP. Thanks. I tried to find that. Are you emailing realbaronpodcast@gmail.com? Because if anyone emails any other email address, I don't open them. If you don't email realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, I do not open them. And I have searched Accurate Energetic Systems. I've searched Accurate. I've searched AES, and I've not found an email from you. So please email that email address only. If you guys are sending me Facebook messages, I'm not reading them. Sorry. If you're sending them to my personal email address that you found online somewhere or my business email address you found online somewhere, I'm not reading them. I'm trying to force everyone to go to Real Baron Podcast if you want to reach me. That way I have a centralized location because that's the only email address where everybody can help me. How many monitors do I have there in my studio? You guys want to see? Hold on. I got to add some stuff on here. All right. So let's get a tour. I might end up unplugging and feel stupid. So there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4 right there. And there's 5 down there in the corner. I got a lot. Oh, gosh. I'll never get this thing right again. There we go. I got 5. The one on the corner is my make sure I stay up. That's the one. You guys see me look over there every now and then and hit the button. That just makes sure we're still on air. We only have 7,600 likes and 20,000 live viewers, which means 2 in 3 of you have not hit the like button. Unacceptable. You're trying to kill the show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the broadcast, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. But yeah, I've got 5. That's your tour. That's all you're getting. If you were his attorney, wouldn't you tell him to lay low and not make all these media appearances? Why are these people opening themselves up to public scrutiny? Is it all theater? You're talking about Brian Harpole? If I was Brian Harpole's attorney, I would tell him to dig a hole and stay in it. Like, not die. I'm not wishing the man any harm. I want nothing but good success for him, health-wise. But I would encourage him to not go out in public. Don't risk it. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. I'm here hiding in the bushes. Just kidding. When I say hi, send my support. Well, hey, CDC dogs. Is that the Center for Disease Control? Hey, Edge. Spent the last couple of days watching hours of Erica Kirk interviews, seeking morsel of something. I know she's dramatic, but like Rob McCoy, she's a different person. What happened to these people in the last 5 years? Money or something more sinister? I might go into this on a member show because I don't know how deep you guys want me to go into the spiritual realm on this show. But I'm a really big believer in the demonic realm. I'm glad to see Tucker the last couple years really dig into the demonic, because I think it's real and I think it's very scary, and it's most scary with people who don't believe in it because they're the most apt to fall headfirst into it. And I think that's what happened. I hate to say that because that's me saying Charlie Kirk's wife, his grieving widow, is demonically influenced, but I believe that. And I believe that with Rob McCoy as well. And I believe that with a lot of the people that are advising them. I'm not going to sit here and name them. I believe it with a lot of the people that work there. A lot of the names you hear trafficked a lot in this discussion, I think, are deeply influenced by the demonic, and it terrifies me because these people now have influence over the nation's youth. Tennessee is starting has some bill going where they're going to require the high schools to have these chapters. I want these sexual deviants creating materials for my kids. Are you out of your mind? Maybe if Charlie was still alive, but I don't want his evil-eyed wife and Tyler Boyer and Andrew Colvett coming up with materials for my kids at the local high school. I have a high school like I can hit a 9-iron and hit the high school. I don't want them over there. Yeah, Dan Flood was head of security at TPUSA. Brian Harpole was head of security at for the contractor. So yeah, we're both right. Is that his older tent? Doesn't have the electric bolt. No, it does not have the electric bolt. I don't think it's the one that was exploded under. Notice the chat last live. Someone said, roll that beautiful Baron footage. Oh, I like that. I don't know about beautiful, but I wouldn't kick you out of bed for any crackers. Just joking, brother. Well, hey, I don't know what you look like, brother. I'm not getting in bed with you, sir. I got bad news. I got really, really bad news. Mrs. Coleman would not approve. Where did the lightning bolt go from the tent? Yeah, that's been covered. Yep, not the same tent. Got you. Yeah, but it is a tent, and it is supposed to simulate the tent. Monsters. Yep. Car wreck analogy. That's exactly right. If Charlie Kirk had died from a head-on collision with a DUI, would they have the car in there? No. So why do we have the tent? I agree with you. This is a high IQ outfit. And you guys certainly have a high enough IQ to hit the like button. Need I go shame you some more? Oh, we added 1,000 likes since I shamed you. Let me shame you again. Hit it again. Hit it again. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Amber, thank you. Very kind. Ivan, always good. Excuse me, sir. Andrew who? Colvette? Is that who I was talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about at 6:38. What was I talking about at 6:38? Was that the first story? I don't know. I don't remember. Baron's Bulls, Baron's Bloodhounds, Baron's Bluecoats. Ooh, premium group name suggestions. I'll let you guys come up with one. Maybe I'll put a poll up on the next live. I'll come up with 3 or 4 of the ones that you guys have suggested that I like and let you guys pick, and then we'll name them. Or maybe we can name the levels, like how long you've been a member. So funny, I refuse to order my food on the screen and use self-checkout, so I'm old school. My orders are always special order. My orders typically are not special order, but I don't eat bread, and I don't eat cheese. I used to eat cheese. I used to eat a lot of cheese. It doesn't agree with me. It makes my lungs messed up. I figured that out, and so I've given up cheese. It was a very difficult decision. But, to go into a place and say, I don't want bun, and I don't want cheese, and I do want the onions, and I do want the pickles, and I do want the tomato, and I do want the lettuce, and, I don't want to do all that. I want you to do that. I'm paying you. I'm going to give you $14 for a burger and fries. I want you to boop, 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 boop. Here you go, Mr. Coleman. Some people say journalists or investigators connected to the JFK assassination later disappeared. Is there solid evidence behind that claim? I've not heard that. But I may have. I may have a guest on who literally wrote the book on what happened at JFK. So I talked to his people today, and I'd like to get that guy on because it's fascinating, and the parallels with Charlie Kirk are so overwhelming. People question how a gunshot could ring out at the same time as the mic explode. Could the handheld mic pick up the explosion and send out the sound, possibly sounding like a gunshot? Am I crazy for thinking this? You're not crazy. But again, I think when we say exploding microphone, we may be saying two different things. You know, like the exploding pagers were like, it looked like a miniature nuclear bomb went off. When I'm saying exploding microphone, I'm talking about something that could cause some other process under the shirt, not necessarily like a massive explosion under there. I mean, that would have ripped his shirt off if that happened. Let's see. Wow, $50. Thank you. The one you feed. Bayron Springmeyer exposed mad scientists have a biotechnology to implant dark entities into victims to take over a body. Thoughts? Well, thoughts, I'm terrified. That's my first thought. Stay the hell away from me, dark entity people. Also, who would have even get a pick under that tent? Ooh, yeah, exactly. Ooh, exactly right. You have the exact right reaction. We should all be so oohed. That's scary. You know, the scariest thing I saw was where I have to find it. I'll bring it back up. Maybe I'll bring it up next show. They had some virus delivery device that could be delivered by nanoparticles sprayed on somebody without their knowledge. Like you're standing in the Publix checkout line and somebody sprays a little nanoparticle on your shoulder and it gets nanoparticles of viral debris in your body and kills you. That and the heart attack gun. These things scare me. Crime scene was tampered with. Yeah. People were trampling over the space. Yeah. Moving chairs. Yeah. And cameras. Yeah. How could one even forensically establish a bullet trajectory? Well, it'll be interesting to watch. When is the trial? Not scheduled yet. There's one thing I keep thinking is at that December event. Why is it about talking poorly about people? I thought this was a Christian event. This is confusing. There's nothing Christian religion related. No, it couldn't have been a Christian event. It was kicked off with Ben Shapiro. I mean, that's the opposite. Ben Shapiro, I don't even want to tell you what he said about your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I don't even want to tell you. It's bad. I don't know how any Christian listens to him, but they do because we have this thing where we just have to. I mean, is there anybody more self-effacing than modern American Christians? We just vote for these people that hate us. We listen to these people that hate us. We subscribe to their channels that hate us. We get Daily Wire Plus. They hate us. Like, why? Like, I used to like Matt Walsh. He's kind of gone weird last few months, but I'm never going to give him money because I know Ben Shapiro gets the money. I'm not giving him money. Sorry, not happening. There's one thing I keep thinking is that sorry. I just read that. Steak and Shake's the best. Agreed. I love Steak and Shake. Keep hearing about how Israel has these interactive, immersive October 7th events or experiences. Seems kind of like what TPUSA is doing with the tents, all part of the PSYOP. Yeah, we deserve better PSYOPs, honestly. We honestly deserve better PSYOPs than this. His defense attorney's on the stairs to Charlie's right wearing a green shirt. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's her. I honestly think that's an ugly man. Nah, I shouldn't have said ugly. He's probably in the audience. He's probably a member. I apologize, sir. Won't happen again. Or it's a woman who's in the audience and she's like, great. Now I look like an ugly man. I don't think that, ma'am. I don't think that. Can we talk about how Erica Kirk looks like Kenneth Copeland as of late? They both look like my sleep paralysis demon. I had sleep paralysis one time, Cash Money. One time I had sleep paralysis. I woke up. I went to sit up or roll over, actually, I think. I was trying to roll over, and I couldn't. And I was stuck. And I was very much awake. And it probably lasted 45 seconds to a minute, but it felt like it lasted a month. It was so terrifying. I was thrashing, screaming. I could not get up. Please, nobody still frame that. Please, nobody still frame that. Guy working with Tulsi on Charlie's case said, quote, a plane named Hades flew overhead that day and released a lot of drones. He said Tyler had nothing to do with Charlie's assassination. Greetings from Ireland. A guy working with Tulsi said that? Who, Joe Kent? Did Joe Kent say that? No. You used quotes. I mean, is that an accurate quote? Because can I go search that? A plane named Hades flew overhead that day. No, I don't see that quote anywhere. Yeah, if you have that quote, will you send it to me? realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Put Hades quote in the subject line, please. Hades quote. Anyone that wants to find that and send it to me would be great. If I was Tyler's DA, I'd be subpoenaing Gary Meltdown and Gray Hughes for social engineering management that hindered a federal investigation. I don't think that would work. But I like you thinking outside the box. Tent marketing at UVU had a lightning bolt. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. It's obviously a different one. Obviously a different tent. If a defense doesn't contest the single shooter verbiage at that motion, does that marry the defense to the proof for the entirety of the case? No, but I think at some point, I don't know if they could raise like an estoppel issue, like, hey, you've allowed us to proceed this far and call these things uncontested facts, and now you're contesting them. But it's a criminal case. This isn't a civil case. So I don't think it marries them, but I would like to see them raise hell about it in a filing. We're not contesting it. We're not giving you any uncontested facts. We require you prove every fact beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury. Period. That's zealous representation. If you're going to say a gunshot happened, I need proof beyond a reasonable doubt there was a gunshot. I'm not consenting to that. We're not going that way. Erica said she forgives Tyler, implying he did it. I don't know about tainting the jury pool. I don't buy the tainting the jury pool argument that much. I know both sides are kind of making it, but I don't buy it. Do women use words like Northwest in other direction-based vocabulary? No, that's awfully sexist. I mean, Sacagawea helped Lewis and Clark. You don't think she knew which direction was Northwest? Yeah, they do. Now, my mom doesn't. My mom thinks everything to the left is north or everything to the right. I can't remember which. Like, it doesn't matter which direction you are. Like, which way is north? That way. I'm like, no, that's south. Okay, that way. No, that's west. Oh, that way. You guessed, didn't you? Yeah, well, that's east. My mom has no idea what direction it is. But I don't think that's endemic to the double X chromosome. I think that's just something that happens sometimes. A merch idea, mason jar mugs with I'll allow it. Shout out to my wife, Carol. Love your show. Doesn't get better than drinking out of a mason jar. Especially when your voice is struggling. Objection, hearsay. Yeah, that would have been hearsay. Put her on the witness stand and demonstrate to the jury the inconsistencies. Perjury. Dismiss the trial because the prosecution is corrupt. Who? Put Erica on the witness stand? You'd have difficulty putting her on the witness stand. I think you'd have difficulty. Well, thank you. This is awfully kind. Law expertise where your content will shine. Well, that's very kind of you. Very kind of you. This is from Mad World. This is her birthday. Our chat wouldn't be half of what it is without her. She can't hear me sing happy birthday, but you know who she can hear, our humble host. We will sing along. Happy birthday to you. I can't sing. Hey, this is a true story. I was singing at church. This would have been in the late 90s. I got all into it, man. Every now and then you get carried away at church. I'm singing along, da 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 da. And I noticed the guy next to me singing like this. Like I'm sitting here, and he's here. He's plugging his ear. You don't want to hear me sing. But thank you, Whitney Murphy. Thank you. And yes, thank you to Mad World, a fantastic moderator. If his trial attorneys have been instructed to work with the trash story, then what? Pushing for zero effort mistrial. I don't know what that last sentence means, but if his trial attorneys if his defense attorneys are working against him, they need to be kicked out of the bar. Like your attorney should give you zealous representation. I mean, that's the standard. You are entitled to zealous representation. Sorry. I already read that. Has anyone attended a TPUSA event where the tent was erected to look for any burn holes or exploding burns on it? Maybe they keep it close to people, to keep people from. I think it's a different tent. I think that's the conclusion we've all drawn. The old disputed bush. Oh gosh, wiggle on Johnny 2 times. Love you. I actually was, the errand we were running. I was looking for a new chair, so I don't have to do this quite so much. I'm looking for something maybe that will make me not do that as much. But I'll still wiggle too much because that's who I am. Why haven't you called Tyler Robinson's attorneys incompetence or theater? Because I don't represent Tyler and I'm covering the case, and I think that would be wholly inappropriate. They're welcome to call me. But I will disclose to you that I talked to them. I will never talk to one side or the other without telling people. That would be so wholly inappropriate, violate every journalistic standard in the book. But if they called me and said, hey, where did you get this idea? Or who did you talk to? Or who was your source on this? I probably will talk to them. I'm convinced the defense is corrupt. Utah Mormons tend to stick together and believe the same mission. Protect that group. That's a blanket statement, sir or ma'am. I don't know if that's true. I was talking to a Utah Mormon on the phone just the other day about this case. He is on our side. Gary, she absolutely didn't write that affidavit. The state is putting itself at jeopardy for mistrial. Oh, that's the she. Yes. That's the problem. That's the problem with pronouns. My poor wife has to put up with me constantly stopping. Oh, don't use pronouns. Who are you talking about? Barone, did you do a Google Trend search that made it seem as though Tyler Robinson's defense counsel had been searched in Israel prior to the Big Bang? My assumption has been the Tyler Robinson defense team has been bought. I did do that Google search. It was one of the very first, maybe the first 5 episodes or so. You can go back and watch it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the episode where Adam Bartholomew from Life is Driving came on. And that was explosive because I was trying to be nice to him and he was like fighting me the whole time. Hopefully that can be remedied. I don't want to make enemies with him. No reason to. First time commenter, fellow IU alum. Go IU. Yes. Your evidence is overwhelming, but I fear the attorneys are in on the plan and have agendas like the others. How depleting this will be when we find out that's the case. It's all just a joke and it's depressing. I will be depressed if they go to trial and we start getting news reports out of the courtroom, because I doubt the judge is going to let us watch along. But if we start getting news reports out of the courtroom that the defense is putting on a lousy trial, I'm going to feel really bad for Tyler. Like, there are so many things they could put on, provided the judge doesn't block them all. But we would know that in advance, I think. I'm getting a lot. I'm skipping some of these just for time, but you guys are asking a lot of the same question over and over about the defense team. Tyler Robinson needs you as his attorney. No, he doesn't. He can't afford me. You have become a house favorite. Wishing you great success. As you stated, souls are at stake. I would charge Tyler Robinson an exorbitant amount of money to get involved with that, because it would require me giving up all other sources of income. He can't afford it. He's got court-appointed attorneys. He's an indigent. So unless somebody else wants to pony up, I cannot possibly afford it. I would be volunteering my time, shutting down the podcast, not working a full-time job anywhere else, because I'd be working full-time on that, and I would be starving to death. So no, I cannot represent him. Informative and well-presented content, but I'm willing to talk to his lawyers. Pause this comment. I'm willing to talk to them. If they call me, I will talk to them, but I will tell you I talked to them. That's the rules. That's the rules I would live by. Informative and well-presented content, educated and often comedic commentary, epic laugh. Thank you for being something to look forward to. Well, thank you for the very, very kind words. Bro, 20,000 viewers at the time of this content. You're killing it. Go Max. Thank you, Shane, man. We're still at 20,000. How many likes do we have? Allow me to see. Oh, we're up to 9,800. We've added another 1,000 likes. The rest of you bums. No, I'm just kidding. The rest of you, no. You're welcome to watch and not like it. If you hate me, if you hate the show, you don't have to hit the like button. If you hate me as a person, you don't have to hit the like button. No, hit it anyway. It's just the right thing to do. I hit the like button when I watch videos. You should hit it. 1776 wasn't wearing headphones needed for live stream audio when running both PA and stream audios. Good point. Do we know he didn't have in-ear monitors? I'll have to go back and watch that. I don't know that. When was that text convo? Right after everyone scattered? If so, how would he already know there was a shooter on the roof? I'd have to go back and look. Were there timestamps? I think I have it still pulled up. Oh, I did close it out, but I can get it back up quickly. Hold, please. I can get it pulled up quickly. State's opposition motion. Scroll down to text messages. Shooter on the roof. Where was that? 12:39. Is that right? So 16 minutes after he was shot, someone said shooter was on the roof. Was that public by then? That's a good catch. That's a good catch, Rose S. Was it public by then? Shall we ask Grok? Let's ask Grok. We'll ask Super Grok. How about that? You guys want to watch along with me while we ask Grok? Super Grok? Because I don't want to have to go searching around. So let's ask Super Grok. When was the first report that there was a shooter on the Losi Center roof for Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk? Super Grok takes a little time. Let's allow Super Grok to work. 12:23. When was the first report, bro? Oh, shortly after, footage captured the suspect running. Police investigated the roof shortly thereafter by 12:35. So that would have been 4 minutes ahead of time. So yes, the police were investigating 4 minutes before that text was sent. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder how he knew. Gary's back for more. Maybe we should do a GoFundMe to put Barron in the courthouse representing Tyler Robinson. This is BS, and the U.S. is in deep doo-doo if this leads to his conviction. Here's the problem with that. Other very highly trained death penalty lawyers have reached out and not been added to the team, and they've been offering to do it for free. So why would I be any different? Don't start a GoFundMe. Don't start a GoFundMe. I'm not even licensed in Utah. I have to go get ProHocked in. I have to get sponsored. I'd rather be here with you guys. Might as well pay zero attention to the court case. The kid won't be alive when the case starts. I've heard as much. I think, again, different tent. I think we're at a different tent. Interesting how TPUSA had Nick Shirley come to New York to do the Charlie Kirk interview on 9/10. They didn't want that honest journalist present at UVU that day. I've got my suspicions about Nick Shirley. I'm glad the story broke in Somalia, but I have my suspicions about Nick Shirley, which make it even more suspicious that he was there on September 10th, frankly. These aren't suspicions I can confirm. These aren't like things I can really articulate, but I just connect some dots in my head and I think, how did this, I don't want to go into it, but I've got my suspicions on that, which again, make it even more suspicious that he was on Charlie Kirk's podcast that day. Woodbridge is overwhelmingly a city of early career bureaucrats, if that helps. It doesn't. Boise Jet guy. That's great. Your usernames crack me up. Your usernames crack me up. Thank you. That was great. Affidavit, I wasn't watching. Texts, give detailed recap of the debate topic and question number. Does that new logic book have a chapter on how to keep your story straight? She needs a copy fast. Young girl, I have a book here for you. It will help you. Yeah, one wonders about those texts. I didn't see a date, by the way. Did you? Let me pull it back up. No, I see no date. I only see times. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Why wouldn't they have shown the date? Do both sets of the texts only have times, no date? Not as believable without a date. Not as now Steelers girl. You're a great commenter. I can't believe you weren't a member yet. Baron, you skipped over the part where the DA daughter said she heard Charlie had been shot by a person in the crowd. Does that not matter? I'm not a lawyer, but I used to watch Perry Mason with my grandmother. Oh, please. Did not see anyone in the crowd or elsewhere with a gun. Was looking around the crowd when I heard a loud sound. Heard that someone had been had shot from the person in the crowd. So that's where she heard it from the crowd. Crowd dropped to the ground. Crowd first dropped low. Dropped to the ground the rest of the crowd. So all 6 references to the word crowd do not suggest what you just said. So I don't know where you're pulling that from. And in doing that, I lost my place. But I'm close. There we go. Yeah, so I need to I would need to see your citation, like page and line number, in order to verify what you just said. TPUSA, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah. This is interesting. Note 7th PSYOPs group, loudspeaker ops on the general's page. Sent you an email on the Big Bang. It's their jam, Ghost in the Machine. That is an interesting, please. That's an interesting comment. I would like to read more about that. Ooh, $100. Thank you, Adam. It's like everybody in this party is shining like the Illuminati. Yes. Oh, gifted 5 memberships. There are 5 of you who are now new members. Thank this person. Thanks, Cap. How would Charlie Kirk, high IQ, be so oblivious? I'm starting to believe he knew and is alive. I cannot fathom he wasn't a plan himself at this point. Sorry, peeps. Unless Charlie Kirk was MK Ultra'd himself. I say it again. I really, genuinely want Candace to explain what X-Men school she was talking about. I want to know what that means. Because these gifted programs, a lot of these, I wouldn't let my kids be a part of them. Great work. Very impressive, sir, babe. Thank you. Very kind. Very kind. Bongino's books on Spygate, especially Follow the Money, Connect All the Dots. These people are connected to each other. It's insane. I've not read any Bongino book, nor would I. Day 8 of sobriety, the headache. I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. Like day 4 to 5 to me was the worst. And then by day like 10 to 14, you start coming out of the fog. So stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Keep your blood sugar up. Do not let your blood sugar crash, Brandy. That is when people get weak and go back. Keep that blood sugar high. Don't eat. And when I say blood sugar high, I don't mean, keep it steady. I don't mean start your day with shredded wheat that's going to crash and then you're going to feel bad all day. I mean, start it with hamburger patties, cheese, chicken thighs, fish patties. Don't eat a bunch of simple carbs while you're trying to quit drinking. It is a bad combo. Some carbs, but make sure you're eating a lot of fat and protein with it. And it will keep your blood sugar steady and you'll feel better and you'll have a better chance of making it. Keep us posted. Keep us posted, Brandy. Good luck to you. Simple question. Why can't TPUSA go live with Candace? We're talking about a murder and she's the only one they can't talk to. It's ridiculous. Barron should mod it, not Megyn Kelly. Ooh. Barron would love to do that. Barron would also like to talk to Andrew Colvette. Andrew, you're better than this. You're better than this. Your soul is at stake. You're better than this. Put this behind you. Come clean. Great question. Great question. 33. Wait a minute. I'm told we're supposed to hate the number 33. I used to like Larry Bird until I found out about Freemason. No, I'm just kidding. I once accidentally completed a circuit by placing my elbow on a plate of salt water that held a ground probe. Well, who among us? Who among us hasn't done that? I was hit with approximately 200,000 volts. I woke up on the ground behind my chair. The chair was undisturbed. Go Max. I don't know what a volt is, but that's a lot. Like, I don't know. I know there's ohms and volts and watts. Can't tell you one from the other. But I know that the number 200,000 is a very high number. It's a very large number. I'm glad you're still with us, Sean. Try to keep your elbow out of plates of salt water. Canuck Bucks, you're amazing. Great work. Thank you, Cheryl. Very kind of you. Dude, I've been learning a lot from my ancient yet sharpest conspiracy theorist neighbor. Of late, we've been on the satanic rulers who run the world politics. Bad aliens to him. It's scary to see it all be true so far. Yeah, I think the whole alien phenomenon are demons. I got a book over there about it, but I don't want to go get it. I don't know exactly where it is. I think it might be on the back of the maybe I'll find it later. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Kudos to you for always making me laugh. You're an amazing human. I got my sister into your podcast and she loves you too. Well, your sister sounds amazing. You sound amazing. So thank you. At Charlie's memorial, Erica was wearing Temple of Set rings. And when she and Trump hugged, Erica threw up devil horns. I recognized it immediately. From that moment on, I knew Erica was not who we thought. Do you think this is the end of TPUSA? What are Temple of Set rings? Is that true? Is this true? Temple of Set rings, symbolic jewelry for members of the esoteric Temple of Set, featuring Egyptian satanic imagery like the Eye of Set or Baphomet. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. But if I had a ring and someone said, hey, it kind of looks like Baphomet, probably not going to wear that ring again. I don't want people to be confused. That's scary. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what she was wearing. I'd have to go back and look. I thought she had the M ring and the G ring. Those are her kids, MacArthur and Gigi. I don't know what other ring she was wearing. I'm glad you confide in your wife and she doesn't think you're crazy. She knows you just might know more than most. Well, thank you. I hope she trusts me. I hope she believes what I say. But yeah, look up the year 536, 537. And then, hold on. I got another book. Let me show you this. I'm going to preface this by saying I don't believe everything in this book. Nevertheless, I think it's one of the most important books I ever read. This was a New York Times, here's the New York Times book review before I show you the title. Among general nonfiction, Worlds in Collision was being outsold by only one book, the Bible, the epicenter of a literary earthquake. It's this book right here, Emanuel Velikovsky's Worlds in Collision. Blew my mind. Now, I don't believe everything in that book, but I believe the general concept of the book. And the amount of hand-wringing from the establishment to try to destroy the book makes me believe it even more. But I was going to preface the 536, 537 thing with Emanuel Velikovsky has a good explanation for that. And it wasn't a worldwide volcano, just caused out of random. So, yes, my wife thinks I'm crazy. No, she doesn't. Did I hear Anna Paulina Luna on the PBD? Yeah, we talked about that. Matt's mom, you're telling us you don't watch every episode. I'm frankly devastated right now. Should I roll tape? Should I roll the tape of me covering that for like a half hour last show? Have you heard of Google Trends? Oh, gosh. Yes, I saw. You don't have to watch everything, Matt's mom. Bell jar water drinker. Number 2, because I am number 1. Don't the scriptures say somewhere there will be wolves in sheep's clothing? They do, in fact. Now Satanists in angels' clothing. How can TR not? Well, yeah. How can TR not fire his attorney and hire his own un-American? Love your channel. He can. He just has to pay for it. You'd have to pay for it. So, I mean, may not have it, may not be able to. Hello, Baron. Did you hear? Guys, I'm not saying you have to listen to every program. I'm not saying you have to watch 12 hours a week of Real Baron podcast. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you do, you'll be way more educated. Yeah, I know. We need high IQ outfit merch. Think how huge this would be in the Balkans. Everyone in the Balkans walking around. Everybody else like, what the hell does that mean? They don't even speak English. I don't know. Maybe they do speak English over there. What's a good Balkan language? I need to get Google Translate on the job. Google Translate. What's a good Balkan language? Oh gosh. Hold on. What's the A country over there that's in the Balkans? I said it the other day. What is that? Albania. Yeah. Is Albanian a language? We're gonna find out. No, it's not. Not on Albanian. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So Albanian. Switch it. So English. We got to say this is a high IQ outfit. And it is pronounced here. I'll let you guys listen along. Here we go. This is what's it's gonna be huge. They have no idea what's about to hit them. They have no idea what's coming their way. You ready for this? You gonna listen to this? Yes, that's what I was saying. I was just saying that. I was just saying, it's a high IQ outfit. That's a lot of syllables for that, by the way. I don't know if I'm smart enough to speak Albanian. Too many syllables to keep track of. Please, it says, in a scale from Joe to Candace, where does Tyler's defense attorney? We'll find out. We'll find out. I don't know the answer to that. With so many participants, don't you think some will find and ultimately end to clean up loose ends? Yeah, that's my concern. That's my concern. Wow, Michael Aquino. The documentary. Yeah, I blocked links in the super chat. Sorry, won't happen again. Why does it look like Frank Turk fell to his knees to pick up a couple things in the grass, debris perhaps? I saw him go to his knees, and he does appear to be but he doesn't pick anything up. Trust me, I've watched that a zillion times. A zillion times. Ivan, happy birthday, Mad World. Have a pop on me. Love your laugh, Baron. Never stop asking questions. Our only way to remain free. Thank you for the gift. Can't tell if you people are gifting or are getting gifted. Either way. Yeah, switch mice here. My mouse is dying. Is Butch Hibbs connected to Jack Hibbs? Yes, he's his brother. Very political yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Hey, listen, brother. We covered that on the show too. Like 2 or 3 different shows. Again, guys, it's not incumbent on you to watch all 12 hours. That's only if you want to be highly educated. That's it. That's like, I'm not going to tell you have to watch 12 hours. That would be frankly, a little much. But I will tell you, if you do, you will greatly benefit. We're up to 10,800 likes. So another 1,000 likes, but we're still at 19,000 live people watching the super chats. So guys, go down and hit the like button. Not hard. Not hard. Should we have a bake sale for people who need help getting membership? You can. It looks like people can gift memberships. I was unaware that was a thing. I mean, I was aware it was a thing. I was unaware I had it set up that way. I assumed Erica's team she had so much confidence in was law enforcement. It now seems her team is more nefarious. Ooh, when she said I have a good team, you think she's talking about demons? That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. I agree with the autism spectrum suggestion. The way he was able to store and rattle off statistics and facts was extraordinary. Would also make it easy to fool him, like Truman Show style. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, aren't we all on the spectrum in some respect? Like, it's a spectrum. It's not binary. It's not on-off. It's like 100 down to 0. So if 100 is no autism, that means 99 is like partially autistic. Like just 1%. All the way down to 1, which is like where's Dustin Hoffman in the movie Rain Man? Is he like 50? Is he like 30? At what point are you counting matchsticks that fall on the ground? At what point are you making millions of dollars in Vegas? Because that seems like just enough autism. Like no more. I want that much. Can you order it? Can you go to Steak and Shake and order it on the screen? I want a 30 because that is matchstick counting and card counting. I don't want a 29. That seems a little excessive. Sunday evening, pizza, ice cream, and the Baron. My husband, Doug, and I are new and love your podcast. Oh, well, then you are permitted to not know that we've covered certain topics. The rest of you, no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. Vat City Ceiling, Sistine Chapel's beautiful. My new favorite hoodie. Oh, thank you. Canceled sub renewal, $2 to save $3 is Apple is stealing. Now I can't find how to resub on the web. I can't help you. I don't know anything about it. I just know that people were asking for membership options so that we could have a more intimate chat from time to time. And I had mentioned it early on about wanting to do like a research group. And so people kept on about it. And that's where we are. That's where we are. X-Man School, fictional Marvel comics attended by gifted mutants, superhumans. I agree. Touch of Tism. Trigger Smart video today at 1 hour mark. AEC employee looked very similar to Mitch's kid that spoke with Gary. Just saying. Oh, I know it. I did not watch that. Actually, I did watch part of Trigger Smart's live today, but I didn't see him talk about that kid. But I know exactly what you're talking about. The redheaded guy at AES that supposedly left like 8 minutes before the explosion and didn't hear it when people in my neighborhood 60 miles away heard it. Yeah. That guy? You talking about that guy? He does kind of look like Mitch's kid, doesn't he? A little bit. A little bit. I'd have to put a side-by-side up. Get Charlie's Mint Majesty with 2 honeys on us. Keep your voice baron. I'm trying. For the leaks, don't call a plumber. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm late, behind, very odd. All these acronyms, TD, TP, D, DD, then TPUSA. I wonder if TP is not actually what we think. Actually stands for Tactical PSYOP. I know what it stands for. I know why they picked that name. Maybe I'll do a show on that. I know exactly why they picked TP USA. We'll get there. We'll get there. Well, I got to bring you along a little farther before we crack into that. Why do I move so much? Need to pee? I usually do about this time. Actually, need to pee, and I do a little bit right now. But no, it's just who I am. Look, it's who I am. I'm the guy that had trouble sitting in class growing up. I'm that guy. I was a much better radio host than podcaster because no one could see me, and I could do this all day long. And I had a stack of papers, and I just went story. And I could do this, and I would move all around. And I did half of the show standing up because I would lift the mic up, and half the show sitting down. And I also produced it. So I had this gigantic board in front of me, and I had the computer screens. And I didn't have to worry about being seen. I don't know why I move so much. Maybe I got a touch of the tism. Maybe I'm like a 73. I can't count cards, but I do this a lot. What a coincidence. I was searching Paul Vallely and Aquino today. They have a connection to Fort Huachuca and New Braunfels as well. I didn't know that second part. Vallely has a lot of ties to Israel and advocating for a war in Iran today. Well, that doesn't surprise me. He's on the advisory council for TPUSA. Are Charlie's parents following Candace Barron, Lionel, Stu, John Bray, Coach Colin, Tucker, etc., willing to pay for their subscriptions? We can include all the grieving into this online community. Love leads. I feel so bad for those people. It would be so hard because I'm getting kids now that age that he was when he started this. It would be so hard if my 17-year-old boy or 19-year-old girl came to me and was like, look, I'm going to team up with this random guy I met out in Montana. I'm not going to go to school. We're going to travel around the country together. Right then I'd be like, what's his interest in you? Like, sharing a hotel room? Like, what is going on here? And then to see the fame sort of roll in, to see the decrepit, deviant individuals that started surrounding him, and then to frankly see that woman who I think is just at this point is a documented liar. Like, she's like, I didn't date for 5 years before. Except for all the men you dated, you talking about? You mean other than them, you didn't? It would be hard, man. Raising kids is hard enough. It would be so hard to be her parents. Have you ever seen a Catholic woman practicing or just raised act like Tammy Faye? This alone is so odd to me. I swear it's not a thing. Everything about this woman's fake. It's concerning. I'll tell you that. My son says the kids use the verb kirked in. Kirked, as in got a bullet. Bully got kirked by every. Well, that's tragic. That shouldn't be. Let's not use his name as that way. Paul Vallely resides in Montana. Perhaps our three amigos dropped in for dinner back in October. Love your show. What part of Montana? Can we find that out real quick? I will not show you his address. Yeah, he does. Oh, wait a minute. Says he's dead. But that must be a different Paul Vallely. Oh, it looks like okay. I think his father was also Paul Vallely and would have been, 34 when Paul Vallely was born? Because they both have the same or similar addresses. That's interesting. I'm going to keep that pulled up. I'm going to look into that. Thank you for that. Good tip. I don't know where that city is. I'll have to look. Throat. Honey and warm water. Humidifier keeps vocal cords from drying. Reduce caffeine. More. That's part of the problem. More honey, throat coat. Throat. Honey, rest vocal cords. Ash friends, pro singers. Hope your throat holds up. High IQ outfit maintenance. Thank you. Yeah, I feel a voice thing coming on. I don't know what I'm going to wake up like tomorrow, but I'm going live tomorrow night. I just might be cracking my voice the whole time. We'll see how it works out. Been saying since start, I think Charlie Kirk government found out about the plan to kill him and pulled him out ahead of with his family to WP. Baddies, witness protection. Baddies continue with plan to kill Charlie Kirk and install fake Erica Kirk to keep train going. Explains FBI not talking. Would be a cool book. I would read it. I don't think it's what happened, but I would read the book. Hey, feds, hit the like button. Yes, ops, hit the like button. Are you telling me half of our audience is feds? We're up to 11,300 guys. Seriously, that means there's still 7,000 of you not on here. You better bring it. Bring it. Oh man, we're coming up on 3 hours, and I'm not even close. I'm gonna have to move fast. Hey guys, when I skip your supers, it doesn't mean I don't read them. And I do appreciate the support. I genuinely do. But I do try to keep the show to 3 hours. I've got commitments to my family that I have to keep. Candace Owens, episode 251, at the 5-minute mark. She states her source says no bullet caliber is listed on the death certificate. Definitely supports not shot theory. Well, it could. I mean, it might just be that there's no bullet caliber listed on the death certificate. I'm not sure if that's common in Utah. You'd have to know. I mean, if 100 gunshot wounds and they list the caliber on 99 and they don't on Charlie Kirk, I'm with you. If 100 gunshot wounds and none of them have a caliber listed, then I'm not with you, right? I don't know the practice there. I don't know what's going on. Question, are you at all concerned for your safety now because you're really digging deep? I believe in demonic element. They are running the world. Love your channel. God bless you and your family. I'm not worried about my safety. I take precautions. We, lock our doors and, take other precautions around the house. And I'm not an idiot. I leave the house well prepared when I go places. But no, I'm generally not. I mean, look how big Charlie Kirk got before they took him out. I'm not that big. I'm not that big. There are other rabbits way out ahead of me who are still quite around. I mean, look what Dave Smith did to poor Josh Hammer. He basically murked him on live TV on a stream. And he's still walking around, so I'm fine. I also love your show. Why don't you go live Friday and Saturday? Are you going to make us pay? You hear my voice? 4 nights. I mean, I got to have a life. I got to see my kids, my wife. I do some Friday shows. I don't know that I've ever done a Saturday show, but I do some Friday shows here and there. I didn't this Friday because of the Indiana game. I want to thank you for not cussing on your channel. It's refreshing. Well, thank you, Lucy. Thank you. I try to keep it a place my, family would want to watch. Based on what you know as an attorney, what theories would be allowed as evidence in the Robinson trial by expert witnesses, John Bray, et cetera? So the expert witness standard, I guess they use Rule 702, I'm not sure, is that it has, there's the judge takes on a gatekeeping function. I'll try to keep it suitable for a broad audience. Assuming they use Rule 702 or something similar, the judge takes on a gatekeeping function, and there's a test to determine whether it's a generally reliable theory that the expert's going to present, and that the expert himself is qualified. I don't know that John Bray would match that, and I don't know that the exploding microphone theory would even survive. We would have to see. I don't even know what the autopsy shows. I don't know what the autopsy photo shows. I think there's still a lot of questions we just don't know yet. But yeah, I think the judge has a lot of discretion under 702, a lot of discretion. So it's really, the judge becomes very powerful on those things. Baron, chat went crazy when you mentioned going deeper into the spiritual realm. Please do it. I get the hesitancy, but you're good at what you do and can handle it without getting too weird. Oh, I'm not sure that that's true. I'm going to get very weird if we go down that path. Not bad. It's going to be weird on top of weird, rolled up in weird, and smoked with weirdness. TPUSA, thank you for the comment, and I will consider that, and probably will. TPUSA is doing an alternative to Super Bowl. How about at the same week as AmFest, you host Truth Fest or America Fest with you, Candace, Ian, etc.? I can't commit them. I would never make the mistake of committing someone to an event without contacting them first. So, that would be awesome, by the way. We would have a lot of fun. It would be way cooler than what they put on. I can assure you that. Could you imagine Candace, Ian, Dave Smith? Gosh, man. Some of the people that they just despise. Tucker Carlson. Like some of the people they just hate showing up over there and being like, those dudes suck. It would be awesome. As far as the Super Bowl, I was live last year during the Super Bowl. I know you guys weren't around for that, but I was live last year during the Super Bowl because my normal show was Sunday at 7 p.m. and I didn't care that there was a Super Bowl on. It was roughly halftime when I started, or a little before halftime. I kept the game pulled up on a small camera on mute, kind of kept an eye on it while I did my show, and we had a great time. And it was at the time, it was a well-watched show, well-attended show. Again, not compared to what we're doing these days, but compared to what I was doing at the time, it didn't have any fall off that day. So I anticipate I'll probably still go live Sunday night because I've been doing Sunday night for a while. And I'll probably be on air during the Super Bowl. If you want to watch TPUSA, you're not going to hurt my feelings. You might actually. If you want to watch Super Bowl, you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you want to watch Super Bowl on mute while I go live, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't care. I'm probably going to do a show because I do shows on Sunday night. That could change. I might get the flu. Who knows? But my plan right now would be to go forward with the program that night. I don't care what TPUSA, certainly don't care what TPUSA is doing. Charlie Kirk left us a major clue. He was going to be killed going into witness protection. He tried to tip us off. 31-year military vet here. But what was the clue? What? I'm not following you. I'm definitely not following you. Baron, I had to become a member. Love you and your content. Your shows are always very informative and entertaining. I'll figure out my bills later. Thank you. Thank you. Please, nobody miss a meal over it. They're not that exciting. They're fun. We're going to have a good time on the member side, but please, if you're on a fixed income or you're going to miss a meal, you get 12 hours of me a week for free. 4 shows a week, live shows, 3 hours plus, generally speaking. So don't miss a meal on my account. Is it odd Elizabeth Lane was completely blocked access? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There were like people trying to get him in touch with good lawyers. Is a public defender representing him? Yes. Yes. I don't know that she was blocked or if he blocked her. Please do a member video about the demonic realm, the powers that be. Yep. I'm anticipating it. I think you I think you guys have convinced me. Baron, you stated you were speaking to Andrew. Come on, Anna Paulina Luna. You're talking to Andrew Colvette. Still love your life. Oh, that's why you guys said that. My bad. My bad. Won't happen again, guys. I apologize. I'm hung up on the SAM 000 flights before Air Force Two taking his body home. JD's history with Palantir. Does he have a history with adrenochrome? Satan 100% behind it. Now, I don't want to get confused and say that JD Vance is a Satanist. I don't want to get all confused that way. But I'm just saying. Did you get my email about the magazine with Jaws on the cover? I did. There are other people covering that in depth, and I think they've done a fantastic job. So I'm not raising it again because we covered it once on the program, and like I said, other people are doing a good job on it. Speaking of double X chromosomes, isn't Candace's Macron case as simple as that? Love from Canada. Yeah, you would think that would be an easy case to win. I don't even need to see it. I don't want to see it. I mean, I'd like to see the test results. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the little Macron. There are some things that just aren't worth it. I'm not sure what price you could pay me to see the little Macron. It might be a big Macron. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I'm trying to rest my vocals. You notice I'm talking softer tonight. I'm trying. My husband just looked at me and laughed because he's constantly confused when I use pronouns. He also said he loved to use his sports ball. Van Allen radiation belt, use proper nouns. Pronouns are so confusing. They lead to so many problems. It gets so thank you, husband of Van Allen radiation, Mr. Van Allen radiation belt. Got home from work and my wife had the podcast pulled up, ready to go. And she hates podcasts. So you must be doing something right. We appreciate you. Well, thank you, Mad Season 2323. Thank you. Very kind. Very kind. Also here, great show tonight. God forbid I ever need an attorney. You're definitely on the list. Unfortunately, I have a pretty hard and fast rule that I don't represent people I meet through broadcasting. For many reasons. I could go into depth on the whys, but I do have a pretty good hard and fast rule on that. But I appreciate you thinking of me, and I might be willing to help put you in touch with somebody who could help you. Everyone like and subscribe. Thank you, Baron, for all the great content. Thank you for the great content. Thank you for being a member. In a demonic world of nonsense, thank you for humor, honesty, and faith. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. I really genuinely appreciate it. Who is Susan Atkins? Is it possible the defense being selected the way they were with Susan Atkins? Was she the lady that drowned her kids in a lake? Or allegedly? Or maybe she was convicted of it. Or did she die? I don't know why that name rings a bell. It's been a long time. I wonder if you got my email about Natalia Grace. If you need me to provide research, you can follow up. Mention the Tyler Boyer connection. Guys, you don't have to. I appreciate your contribution. Don't get me wrong. But you don't have to ask me if I got the email. I either did or I didn't. If I email you back, it's because there's something about it that intrigued me and I need follow-up. But if I don't email you back, that doesn't mean I didn't get it. And I don't want you, like, if you want to donate $10, I'm all in favor of that. It does help keep the program on. It helps increase the quality of the content because I'm able to do more things. But please don't feel compelled to pay money to get a comment through to ask if I saw your email. I probably saw it or will see it at some point. We do open all the emails. But if I didn't email back, it's just, I limit my time. I can only follow up on so many different leads. I cannot follow up on every lead. I get hundreds a day. I cannot follow up on hundreds of leads a day. I'll pick a few here and there that intrigue me and I'll follow up on them. Very much enjoying your live streams. I'm very much enjoying your audience. Thank you. I need a hoodie that says hold please. Don't we all? Don't we all? Roll that beautiful bean footage. North Korea. Who's NK? Has very rich parents. I don't know who that is. Oh. The kid in the hoodie. Can't think of his name right now. No, that's Kyle. Sure. No. I can't remember who you're talking about. Thank you. Oh man, the memberships are rolling. Someone must have gifted some. We got several in a row there. Thank you. And thank you. If not live streamed, how would Rob McCoy know that Mikey changed his clothes? We asked that question on a program earlier. Again, you don't have to watch every minute of every show. You'll just be educated and entertained if you do. I mean, That's my promise to you. Baron, love your podcast. Been watching since your first show on Google Trends. Why is it that no one has been charged with the cover-up of the crime scene? Love the show. God bless. Stay safe while you search for truth. I was told some of the lawyers weren't even aware it happened. I don't know what they're doing. Nobody turns on the internet? Do they have broadband in Utah? Are you guys able to access the Google? I love talking to old people about the internet. It was from line 8 of her deposition. I had heard someone had been shot from the person in the crowd. Line 8. You mean paragraph 8? It wasn't lines. What was your quote? I had heard. Let me search for that. That might get me there. Had heard. Because the district attorney here had heard and ruled. That's the only had heard I see. From her deposition. Let me go to her deposition. I mean, you said deposition. As I was in the building, I did not really know what happened. I had heard someone had been shot from the person in the crowd. Yes, we covered that. Didn't I cover that and said it wasn't firsthand knowledge? I think I covered that. I meant to if I didn't. Thank you. Thank you. That helped clarify it. See, you guys are the best. You guys absolutely are the best. Oh gosh, we're pushing 3 hours. I got to move quick. What if Tyler was a willful agent assigned to infiltrate the LMNOP community, but also willing to take the fall without security? That's correct. I think going back to this one, I don't know about that. I'm not willing to get there. Ring on her left index finger looked like an Eastern Star ring to me. Seems awfully young for the Eastern Star. And in the average age of an Eastern Star meaning like 106. See Cutler, woman directly next to Cutler. His right looked directly at Cutler after the bang. Not saying he powed, but he did something. Well, I mean, maybe. Have we talked to her? Has she been on the record? Do we know? Please make a hoodie that says hold please. On the back, roll that beautiful truth footage. Ooh. I like that. You just doubled the cost of the hoodie, though, with the double printing. Let's keep it to one side. X-Man equals Malcolm X College, Xavier Institute for the Gifted Kids in Chicago. It's free tuition due to Professor X vast wealth and alumni donations. Well, I'm going to check on that. Thank you for that clarification because I was very confused. So I got to take a picture of that so I can come back and check on it. I actually do look at those pictures, by the way. I do look at them. I do. Oh, man, my voice is going. I got to be careful. I knew you'd miss my Bongino. I knew you'd dismiss my Bongino comment. Haha, I'm not on team anyone. I'm team truth. I don't want everyone to get out over their skis when we don't have access to all the evidence the prosecution has. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But at the same time, when they're filing things like this and they're totally dismissive of any other alternative, I think it's not getting out over your skis. It's like, hey, they're ignoring a huge body of evidence that exists. Speaking of good books, you read any Murray Rothbard books? I've not, but I've heard good things about him. I had a friend who loved Murray Rothbard back in the day. Fellow broadcaster. Good guy. Named Joey. Blessings to you and your family. Thank you. Everything in Arizona CPS, called DCS in Arizona, moves slowly. So I think the Erica Kidd story being removed may be fake to get attention off of Fort Huachuca. There's a lot of fake and gay going on out there, people. A lot of fake and gay going on out there. You got to be very cautious right now with all the fake and gay. Bravo, counselor. I was thrilled to find out you were an attorney. Your knowledge and commentary will prove invaluable as this goes forward. I'd like to believe I have something to offer. If you agree, you're more than welcome to hang out with me. Is Trump the top Satanist? He did say he didn't think he was going to heaven. I thought that was weird. Like, who says that? Like, who says that? And I mean, if you believe that, bro, get your life in order. If I was the president, you notice I'm taking small sips. I don't want to run out of water. If I was the president, this is God's honest truth. If I was anything, podcaster, president, attorney, anything. And I thought that my job was interfering with my ability to go to heaven. Like I might go to hell if I kept my job. Are you out of your mind? Quit today. Cut your arm off. Pluck your eye out. So I'll tell you, I didn't used to think that way about him. But as soon as he said that, I thought, goodness gracious. We talk more about your electrocution theory in future podcast episodes. Love how you repeat yourself so I don't have to rewind. Yeah. That's why I do it. Keep in mind, my background is live radio. You have to repeat yourself 7 times on every major point. That's the live radio standard. I learned that from El Rushbo. You say it 7 times during the episode. Otherwise, people don't hear it. Yeah, I'll talk about it again. I will say this. I've only had 2 episodes get taken down from YouTube that I had to fight with them to get put back up. Both of them on the electrocution theory. I thought that told me a lot about it. Both of them. Expert teacher here specialized in gifted and talented. GT students are gifted in certain areas and being neurodivergently unique, including ADHD, which can present autistic characteristics. Go Max Barentine. Thank you for that context. Very head. I am a Baron bobblehead. I am a Baron bobblehead. Would Charlie's parents be the only ones legally able to contest or bring some sort of case against TP if they are found to have involvement in his death? No. I want to say no there. Mail lady, great episode. Hope all is well. What's your take on drone angle being talked about more? What's my take on the drone angle being talked about more? Glam Ham and Alley Files, good to see you. Keep digging. I've never been a big deep diver on the drones. I actually talked to someone today about the drones. That's just never been my jam. I don't dismiss other people talking about the drones. I know there are very sophisticated drones that we don't even know exist. But I've just never done a really deep dive on the existence of the drones. I'm all for other people doing it. I can't cover everything and they can't cover everything. So if somebody wants to spend significant time plowing into drones and talking about Bluetooth technology and Wi-Fi technology and communication interference technology, and potential, things that I can't even think of right now off the top of my head, then go for it. Like I encourage that sort of profligate investigatory behavior. Not just there. I need some throat coat. Can I buy that right now? Is it on Amazon? Did I look this up on Amazon one time? Throat coat spray. Oh, man. Oh, well, that's not throat coat. I got Singer's Professional. I got Beekeeper's Natural. Oh, organic throat coat. Limited time deal. That's going in the cart. I hope it's good. Echinacea. I don't love echinacea, though. Fisherman's Friend. Oh, those menthol, I think. Don't those do that? Well, there's no throat coat? Yeah, I guess they don't have it on Amazon. Yeah, I'll check it out. You know what I could do? Oh, eucalyptus mint throat coat. There we go. Now we're cooking with grease. Add that to the cart. Get that other one out of there. I don't like echinacea. It's weird to me. The whole concept's weird. You know why? It's not even echinacea. The only people I ever knew that promoted echinacea were a bunch of weirdos. Not saying you guys are. I've just never met anyone that was big on echinacea that's not like, bro, I'm dialing back. I believe you need shards of microphone to progress. Ask or challenge Frank Turk to give you his backpack, which was in the car amongst the shards. I doubt he'll do it. And if so, I bet he cleaned it up already. He can give me another backpack. I didn't see it. I have no idea what backpack was back there. I do struggle with the idea that there's all this footage we don't have access to, including they all had these glasses on that record, meta glasses. We had 3 different 8K or 4K cameras recording that. And what do we get? We get a 4-second clip from behind him that he showed Candace. We don't get the Rode GoPro Wireless 2 microphone footage. I want that audio. And it better extend beyond the Big Bang. Like, I need to hear the people under the table helping him. Otherwise, I have to believe the microphone was disabled. And if it was disabled, does that mean it was damaged? I think that's something that needs to be raised. JC33 crucified. Charlie Kirk just short of 32 and martyred. What if the plan was to wait another year? But Charlie went off script, the temple, the tent, false faith control via blind belief. You know, I had an existential crisis when I turned 33. This was 13 years ago. But I thought Alexander Great had conquered the entire known world by the time he was 33. Jesus saved all of humanity. And I was like sputtering around somewhere. And I thought, what have I done? These guys like peak humanity. And what I'm dillying around? So, yeah. Yeah. I'll check your emails. I see you people. My son asked where I buy my Adidas hoodies. Amazon. Adidas Essentials hoodie. It should be the top thing that pops up. Every time I mention that, I can get fewer and fewer colors. But this is look, let me show you something. The Adidas Essentials has this logo, which I really like. There's the trifoil logo, which I also love, and it's a very high quality hoodie. But all mine have this, and so I just like to stick with this because maybe I got, like I told you, I'm a 73. I can't switch logos now. I'm stuck. I'm working on it. I'm working on the voice. Trying. There's a gift. Thank you. Very kind of you, Lady Liberty. They send all East Coast WP to AZ, and they get called up and recycled to show up to big events like TP. It's a lot of initials. I don't know what all that means. Cowboys. New member. Beautiful bean footage. Back for more. Why are all the women all of a sudden begging for a membership? Stop playing as groupies, women. Hey, it's working. They're getting it. Look, it worked. They're lining up and knocking them down. Good for you, ladies. Hello, you have the best audience. Agreed. That's why I open up the chat hours ahead of time because I love sitting and watching you guys talk. I keep it pulled up while I work, and it's high quality entertainment. Sometimes I join in. Someone just taught me how to super chat. I tried Google, but I needed fan guidance. Thank you for Searching Truth, and I appreciate the team fans coming together for the Testament of Christianity. Thank you, Crystal Fogel, for the super chat. Very kind of you. Very kind words for our audience as well. Like I'm a fan. Best audience in I almost said radio, but best audience in podcasting. Are people saying Nick Shirley was not at UVU? I swear I saw him in a video with a group of young men on the balcony as the shot rang out, but I can no longer find the video. No, I don't think he was there. I think he was in Arizona. I don't think he was there. I know he was on the Charlie Kirk podcast that day. I've seen the footage. Andrew Colvett appeared to be in his bedroom or something. It was weird. I don't need to see all that, bro. Bayron. I'm going to gift a couple memberships to the really mad and entitled Karens in the chat that didn't get their expected free memberships. It won't keep them quiet for long, though. Hey, those are my Karens. No. Lay off our Karens. We love our Karens. And our Joes. Baron, I too won't do kiosk either. I don't work there. Why am I being given a job without a discount or pay? I raised that exact issue yesterday. Knock 10% off on kiosk all day. Hard pass. Love your show. Candace, Baron, Coach Colin. In that order. Thank you for your hard work. Don't tell Coach that. I had to pay him $313 for the clap. I almost demonstrated the clap, but then I'd have to pay him again. Guys, I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it and agree with this. They should produce the mic recording. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what I don't know how my voice will be, but I will be here. Probably 6, but it could be 7. We'll see. 6, 6:30, or 7. One of those 3 times. Central time. So base accordingly. And in the meantime, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. How many of you hit the like button? You wait till the very end and then. Okay. We've added another 1,000. So every time I beg, you give me 1,000. I got to beg more. Well, don't make me beg. So I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for liking the program. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your generous contributions. Thank you for your support, your words, your kindness to each other, and just being a great community. You guys seem to get along really well in the chat. I follow along during the course of the program. And thanks for the advice on the throat coat. I'm going to try to get that delivered overnight. I saw one I could get by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I will be in tip-top shape. But do not forget, don't ever forget, ladies and gentlemen,